there was no space for emotional intelligence from a man, right?
Brotherhood's not the same as a brotherhood back then.
As parents, we also have to talk to our kids about sex and be transparent with it. The millionaires and billionaires of today, they were allowed to question certain things.
It's the greatest like silent flex, right?
Correct.
If I'm in shape.
When guys would be walking on the beach, I'd be staring at him. All right, he's done Stairmaster twice a day for the last 3 weeks. Welcome to another episode of Jibber with Jabber. We are here. Kori and Manny in the house. Hosts of, I was going to say manslaughter. I don't know why.
Wow.
You know, that might be a good name to do it.
Nah, I'm not sure about that one.
What's happening now, bro, with these divorces and these alimonies and stuff? It's the same kind of thing. Mentality. Yeah, I know, bro. Don't think I forgot, man. He was just like a mentality dickhead. Tell me, man, what's happening? It's good to finally have you on. This has been a long time coming.
Bro, it's taking too long, man.
Taking too long. I hope the conversation that we have now is the same as the one that before the camera started rolling.
Why would it change?
As is always, man.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah.
This is an important month, and it's actually when a friend of mine told me to you really need to get these guys on. I was like, oh, it's November as well, which is Men's Mental Health Month. You're not supposed to shave your balls and all that stuff for a month. It's like, we love.
Who told you?
Isn't it keep all the hair on your balls?
No, not November.
Movember.
Oh,
No, not November.
What's that? It can't be.
You're going to keep it in. Do you know what I mean?
Like that.
Semen retention.
For a whole month?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening, man. I felt that one.
Easy, bro. A whole month?
A whole month?
Okay, no, you're not supposed to shave your what?
Beard. You leave the tash in it.
I did the wrong thing. Bro. Okay, it makes sense now. That's why my wife was looking
Why
at
is there
me
so many
weird,
things in
bro.
November?
That's
it's true, though.
Movember, innit? That's what
Yeah,
happens.
and there's no
but
nut
his one's right
November.
as well.
I don't know about the no nut.
No,
November.
that's real talk.
about that.
Yeah, that's real talk.
No one informed me, bro. I never got that memo. But I'm alright. I don't need that memo. I'm good.
I'm alright.
Yeah, I'm
you lot,
good.
man. Honestly, there's two things that I'm happy about. One, having Londoners, because I get a lot of Americans on this show, and they say stuff like on accident, and I'm like, that's not how you say it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have you never heard them say that?
On accident.
Yeah, I did it on accident.
I lived in America for 3.5 years. I never heard that once.
You never heard that?
Nah.
It's common. It's commonplace.
On
They
accident.
say, I don't want to swear yet because have we gone past 10 seconds because I don't want to get demonetized. They say, I could give a fuck.
I ain't heard that.
You ain't heard that?
No, but
that's exactly how all of them say
could.
it.
Yeah.
I could.
Yeah, I've heard that.
What do you mean?
I could give a fucking.
Yeah, but that means I could,
Yeah.
right? We say, I couldn't even do that, bro. Like, I couldn't even give a fuck, bro, what you're doing, right?
Yeah,
Makes sense, no?
They're different, innit? We gave them the language, the bastardized.
Yeah, this is another thing, bro. I said that on the last episode. I had an American comedian on, and I was like, "You're speaking our language," and then I had to remember I'm kind of Lebanese.
and then they don't understand us.
Yeah,
And they tell us what
they
we
try
say.
to correct
But they
us.
love
bro.
us, though.
Huh?
They
Yeah, it's
love
true,
us, though.
Bro, you speak to American, bro, they think you're Prince Charles fan straight away. I don't tell them that I'm not, like, just in case, like, you know, because they're not that educated, bro. That's it.
Wow.
Losing loads of
That's
fans,
a lot.
bro.
That's
Loads of
very
fans.
loaded,
Shots fired, yeah.
Bro, have you ever seen those guys that go, show me where Tunisia is on the map? And they go to, like, they're Australia, like, and all that stuff. They're different than us, bro. I feel like we're more clued up.
Them street interviews, I watched a few of them. It's like, where's London? I don't know, like Cincinnati.
No, that's another one. Name me 4 countries, and they'll be like London, Paris, Rome. Yeah, it's not good. Let's talk. I don't even know how to start this because mental health is a very weird subject for me.
Why?
Because I have these 2 ways of thinking. One of them is every man needs to talk about mental health, and it's a serious thing, and you know we all need help. Then there's the other part of me which goes, you are son of Zeus. Sort out all your own problems and anything can be fixed if you just decide it's going to be fixed. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a thin balance between how in tune you are with yourself. Just like I'm a bit weird where I believe in like self-healing and stuff. Like for big diseases, not like, I got a cold and I'm going to be like, I don't have a cold. I don't, like for big ones, like if you get given a disease and you turn into this wallowing and
Of course, it gets worse.
put your Facebook statuses up like, I don't have long left and all that stuff, you kind of...
Yeah, you embody that.
You embody it, right? And then your cells go, all right, this dickhead doesn't want to be here. So they go, all right, then we'll shut down. So you can start cussing me about my 2 sides now. Who wants to go first?
Actually,
I get it. I think it
we
makes
advocate
perfect
for
sense.
both.
Yeah. it's a duality, right? I think understanding that you know, have autonomy in your healing journey, but then also recognizing that there needs to be awareness. I think those two things are very, very important, right? Because in essence, you're saying, on one end, you're speaking about the strength, and then the other end, you're speaking about just discussions and awareness surrounding the topic, right? Which is not commonplace, especially in like these sorts of societies. So yeah, I think you need both for sure.
For me, the healing starts at the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. The healing starts at awareness, but in order to have a conversation, you need to be aware that something's wrong. And then this healing starts at the conversation. And then that motion of actually voicing it out causes you to then move and do something. But I totally agree with you. As men, we are predispositioned to be like, okay, well, I've got to just keep going. I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going. And that's where that whole idea of, okay, well, mental health is important, because we've gotten to a point where the cups are starting to overflow, right? And people are topping themselves. Let's be brutally honest with it, right? But at the same time, it's been pre-programmed in ourselves over generations that, listen, if you're not fit enough to continue, the rest of the family doesn't eat.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't think it's nurture. A lot of people say that it's nurture, this whole, we've been told boys can't cry and blah, blah, blah. That's why we should go against that. I think it's much deeper than that. I think from the days of caveman days, we didn't have time to
100%
to kind of deal with this and be like, oh, I feel sad because I came back with one ball instead of two. It was like,
but that's what I'm saying. It's not. So I guess you're phrasing it differently to me. It's generational. It's deep rooted within us. If we are not fit enough to continue, the family doesn't eat. That is the be all and end all of it, right? If I can't go hunt, how am I going to feed my offspring, right? So Neolithic, caveman style is, okay, well, if I don't get up, I could broken foot, bleeding out the side,
just drag that behind you.
just wrestle the saber-toothed tiger. I still got to go and hunt. You see what I'm saying? So it's deep rooted, but then over the years, that narrative's been diluted with different kind of nuances. I often go back to I can speak more from a kind of a black perspective, right? Where some of the reason why we think the way we are and we're programmed the way we are is because of the fall down effect or the ripple effect of slavery. And black boys having to be protected by their mothers. So their mothers were standing in the gap and getting raped, and the fathers were getting killed when they were trying to stop it. So the mothers are protecting the boys and saying, listen, don't show your weakness. If you show your weakness, the man's going to come and get you. You see what I'm saying? Because the weak ones couldn't work. They couldn't go to the cotton field, so kill them off.
There's so many pain bodies. There's so many pain bodies. Because even going prior to that, right, and going back to, you know, proper hunter-gatherer phase of life, right? You think about how there was no space for emotional intelligence from a man, right? Because think about it, if you're in a constant state of stress, if you need to hunt and gather, if you need to go and potentially pillage another village, right, and take their resources out of scarce resources, how can you be emotionally in tune? Because if I deploy any kind of the typical tenets of empathy, that's going to not make me want to do that. But the resources are scarce, right? So in essence, it's dog eat dog. It's I need to take from you to look after my own, right? So we don't talk about that pain body and how biologically we've evolved with that pain body, and you understand why there's a massive dissonance between men nowadays and that feeling of, you know, being emotionally in tune.
100% agree. But one thing as well that I feel like now, brotherhood's not the same as the brotherhood back then. Because like you were saying, those hunter-gatherer days,
dog eat dog.
There was 12 of you going to do it. It was the village. All the men would go hunt together. You'd have your conversations on the hunt. You'd have your pranks, your jokes with each other and all that stuff. So there was a brotherhood that was there. In this society where we're all working jobs and all that stuff, it's not the same.
Why do you think that is?
You got one or two friends. Why?
Yeah, in your opinion.
Because the man changed everything, bro.
It comes down to the man, yeah?
I'm not going to say the colour of the man. But it was like, it's different. Now, the world has been turned into such a consumer thing, and they've managed to lock it down to the point where, let's face it, they're in control. You have to work, you have to pay tax, you have to get your rent, you have to do that. Back in the day, we didn't have that. We might have had one leader who would, you know, be a bit of a dodgy one, but the be all and end all, you want a house, you build your house on the land. You know, you come together as a village, you build all the huts or whatever.
And you protect each other. Correct.
Now, I mean, you two, how long have you known each other?
4.5, 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, in that time, would you say you spend the majority of time together? As other friends?
Not. We did more so before.
Like you did before we got married, and our wives were like, allow it.
Not so much. Just lifestyles, right? We're both very busy. We do connect on a frequent basis.
We connect almost daily.
Are you social?
Yeah, I am.
You're very social.
I'm not very social.
So you got loads of friends. That I don't understand.
I've got loads of
friends.
Acquaintances. But do you go out and see them a lot?
No, I pick my circles very, very carefully.
Right. So you chose your hunter-gatherers, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So and those are my guys. And we will fight together.
It's hard to kind of have that outside of them now. Yeah. That's like with me. Like when people want to make friends, I'm just like, this is really difficult to say, but nah. Like, and I mean that in the most respectful of ways.
It makes sense.
It's taken me 41 years to get my little best friends, my kids and my wife and all that stuff. And it's like, people are like, let's go to Nobu. And I'm like, no, boo, I'm not going nowhere.
men connect based on competency and merit, right?
Yeah.
That's the glue that holds men's friendships together, right? Because naturally we are solution oriented, we are action oriented. So if your cohort of men can't help you to move the world in the trajectory you'd like to see it, then what's the point in having those friends, right? Like we're not schoolboys anymore where we just sit and have pointless counsel and sit and talk about women's asses and shit like that, right?
I mean, apart from the 40 minutes we did before the episode.
There's a specific direction you need to be moving in, right? And you see
but not
the
everyone
change
thinks
from,
like that though.
No, but you know what it is though?
It's a small majority of people, like you just said, having conversations to move the world in the right direction. Bro, there's like 4 of us in Dubai that do that. Like,
no, but you know
what I mean?
It's not like, with the guys that don't do that though, right? They still connect with people that are on the same thing, right? So naturally, you're not going to find someone who's
gravitate
so
towards people like them.
Yeah, and then be with someone who's just like candidly enjoying the life of Dubai, right? So you find that these cohorts will find people that match their own circle. So it's always based on mutual interest and merit anyway, right?
I like to look at the history of things, right? Because I feel like nowadays there's nothing that's new. None of us have reinvented the wheel. Everything has a source somewhere. When you go back in history, all the behaviors, all the things that we do have a source somewhere. And I think it comes down to trust. I need to be able to look at you and think, you know what? If someone's going to come and kill me, right? You got my back, right? And it's the same thing when you trace it all the way back. If we're going to go hunt together, and I'm about to go and get that mammoth,
and it gets
there's a tiger behind me. If I don't feel like you're going to be able to come and wrestle that thing off me, then why am I going to hunt with you? You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's the same thing. I pick my circle according to, okay, cool, this is somebody I know I can trust. So when it's all said and done, have you got my back? And it's not even talking about fight. I mean, the fighting thing, we can do because that's from where we come from, right? But it's not even about talking about fight. Is, do you have my best interest at heart? Yeah. Can I close my eyes and walk away and know that I've got eyes somewhere else? Yeah. If I was to die today, would you be able to take care of my kids? That's what it comes down to. And there are very few people I trust enough to say he's got them. And ultimately, that's what it is.
The sad thing that is rare as well for people. Like a lot of people will say, "Yeah, my friend's this, my friend." But when it all boils down to it, bro, they got no one. Like no one, and it's sad.
That guy. I was that guy. I knew a lot of people, and that's why I said, I knew a lot of people. I know even now a lot of people, on the basis that both from a professional as well as a social perspective. I've been in Dubai 12 years. I know a lot of people. However, for you to catch me chilling with somebody, it's rare. If I'm chilling with you, it means I'm giving you one of the resources that I hold very dear to me. I don't give my time to people very often, unless I have to, unless I'm here and there's other people there. But if I'm choosing to come and spend time with you, know that you're one of my people.
Bro, it's so true. I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day and I was like, I'm starting the Illuminati. I'm not even joking, bro. Do you think this is a joke? I'll show you messages. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm buying rings. I'm putting a logo on it. Each one of us is going to find someone else who has something they can offer to the group.
Do you know what the mad thing is?
You doing it?
No. But do you know what the mad thing is? You know that's what the rich white people do.
100%, bro.
You know the pinky rings? You know that's what
Bro,
it is.
I'm making rings, bro. So what
Well,
I'm saying is we're going to create a crew of people. Everyone has something to offer to the other person. A lawyer, a car mechanic, whatever. But it's all free in between each other.
Yeah. But that's what they do.
If I need a mechanic, you're going to give me your services for free.
Yeah.
It's like barter, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'll do word of mouth when you need work. Kind of thing. If my plumbing's out, you're coming and tiling my whole house for free.
I like that though.
Like, and I'm not joking, bro. I'm creating this thing. I've got the logo, bro.
I like that.
I got logos and everything ready. And
that's
we
where
need
it should
that,
be,
bro.
though, man. That's where it should be, right?
And you're not allowed to bring.
You're sending a ring over, yeah?
Don't worry, bro. We'll have to talk about what you can bring to the table. No, but and the thing is, like, people aren't allowed to invite other people unless the whole group approves that person.
I like that.
We're getting real white.
That's
What
free.
but they have to approve.
Isn't it?
They have to approve. And I think that's a great idea because, like, we need that. We need
I love it.
Like, say you're in it. Anyone that needs PT in, you have to PT them, bro. Like, obviously, it's not like if it's a 10-hour day and there's 10 of us and we all want PT and it's not going to work. But
no, but I hear you.
If it was
it's
like
an exchange of services, right?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes
and
sense.
an exchange of thoughts as well. They have to be on the level when it comes to talks.
I was going to say. I like that. But at the same time, I think you've got to be careful with
who you choose.
Yeah.
That's why
not
I
even who
make
you
10 rings,
choose,
bro.
but sometimes within such close-knit groups, power can come into question.
But if there is no power,
but
if we all have equal power,
that has to be made very, very clear.
Yeah.
Because naturally, in bands of brothers,
I'm not going to be wearing an apron standing on top of it going, today with a drum we're going to talk about this. No, but I think like we need that.
It makes
bro.
sense. It makes sense.
We've got something very similar, right? Like even you think about, you and I, we share resources all the time. Right? But I very much live a hermit lifestyle, right? I work and live in my community. I like it that way. So a lot of the things you're bringing up here is actually like foreign to me, right? Like I grew up around competent people, martial arts, the streets of London, streets of South London,
Which
to be specific, Taekwondo.
See Martin.
Okay, yeah, we have to talk about that. The streets of South London, it was all very hardened, strong, masculine, male archetypes that were around me. So as we started doing mentality work, realizing that men are struggling with so many different things, and this is not commonplace to be like this. It shocks me. I'm like, I meet this guy, I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like, what do you mean you can't?
But you know what is a lot of and this is I think where we balance each other out really well, because a lot of the people that seem like they've got it together are suffering in their silence, right? Because we were not allowed. Even now, like sometimes I'm getting better at showing my vulnerability, and it's why I practice it so avidly, is to be more vulnerable and intentionally vulnerable, is because I know what it's like to hide and lock myself up and let no one see me at my low. The minute I walk out my house, smiles are up. Yeah, I'm driving, I'm doing, and everyone thinks, look at him, he's doing all right, he's making money, you're broken inside.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these men are doing. Right? And you only have to look at some of the decisions that some of these people take. Yeah, and I'm not even talking about towards themselves, but how quick it is for them to
discard the people, right? Yeah, because that's like a trauma response, isn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Dude, I agree, and it's the same thing with, I get a lot of people because I'm that guy who's always busting joke all the time. And whenever I walk into a room, I want to make sure everyone's laughing or whatever. Because if for the 5 minutes that they're with me, they forget about all this shit that's happening in their life, that's my goal. Do you know what I mean? That's like my purpose. Because, I found funny is a way to heal people.
It's healing.
And people forget sometimes that you also have mad things in your head.
Yeah.
But because I'm always because I'm always the one that cheers everyone up, I can't be the one that's been thingy. But I'm lucky enough to find good people around me now where all we do is rant and bitch.
That's it.
But it's still positive. It's not like they're not he's gonna get on the phone, he's gonna tell me how shit his day is or how much school fees are or how much whatever. Like they understand because we're all kind of going through the same stuff anyway.
Yeah,
of course.
But certain people will be like, every time this guy calls, he's complaining about something. I don't want that kind of energy around me. That kind of like, that energy brushes off on you. It's like, no, bro, because once you build a connection with someone that's deep and you know each other as pure men for who you really are, you kind of take that away. And like you said, there's a trust in there where I don't have to lie. I don't have to be vulnerable, the guy all the time because we're all going through
And those men will pick up the slack, right?
Absolutely.
Like, let's say you can only give me 20% today. Well, guess what? I'll fill in for the additional 80% and vice versa, right? Yeah. And that's normal. Like, the times, even like recently, I was like, Manny, what's up, bro? What's going on? Like, is everything okay? 100%. But it's cool, like, because that's my guy.
You take his glasses off, he'd be like, I got this.
No. But it's vice versa. And if I've ever fallen, like, you know, he was fine, by the way. But if I've ever fallen a difficult time, he would do the same, right? We extend that grace to one another because 100%. We understand that there's a trust element there, there's a brotherhood there, and that's far deeper than any external factors that are happening around us.
Right? But also enough to know as well, without it being said.
But you can feel this, right? When you invest in someone for a period of time, you can feel when the needle shifts, and you know, okay, well, this is not my guy. Like, are you? And he might be fine. He might just be going for a natural evolution. But it's important to check because it might not be that. It might be that it's suffering. But again, aside from the trust, I think genuinely when you invest in someone, you want to see them win. Like, I want to see you win. I want to see you win. And we've just recently met, like, properly, right? Yeah. But I want to see you win. Yeah. So if there's anything that I can do to be there, even if it's just to sit and
school
listen.
Fees are coming up in December, so if you wanna, if you really want to see me win, bro, 40,000 dirhams for one term, bro. One term, bro.
Don't worry, I know a few head teachers.
Bro, if it's the British school, then hook me up, bro. It's killing me right now, bro.
No, but you get where I'm coming from, though. 100%. So because I want to see you win, I have to pick up the slack. Yeah. I've got no choice but to support you, because I know in order for you to hit the levels that I know you can, I've got to be there. If it means a little leg up, if it means giving you my shoulder, if it means listening, whatever the case may be. If I can't do it, I can't do it. If I ain't got it, I ain't got it. But if I can, then why am I holding back? Because when you get up there,
right?
Well, no, it's not normal in today's society.
Okay, but
because of cancel culture.
Why do you think that certain people hold things so close to their chest even though they can benefit you? Like, for example, I'm a personal trainer, you're a personal trainer. I know someone's looking for a personal trainer. It's a lot of money. I can't do it. I'm not necessarily going to give you the link. I'll wait till I free up and then I'll go and take that. No, I'll go and take it later. Do you know what I mean?
It's a joke thing though, man.
Because people are like that, bro. People have opportunities and they don't pass them on because they think, well, he's gonna.
It's a scarcity mindset,
it's
though,
weird,
it?
bro.
Right? Yeah. Because when you're in that scarcity frequency, you don't think abundantly, right? So in you holding on to that, it's like you know, even there's even sayings like a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. I would take the two in the bush, every time, bro.
100%.
Do you understand? Because that's a possibility there. So I might not even get any of those in the bush, but I might get 3 down the line, right? And that's the way people got to kind of adopt. Once you adopt that sort of mindset, it allows you to be able to share. Because
100%.
Remember, think about like, we can use to illustrate the point, currency, right? Currency is literally a current, right? So you have to let it out to allow it to come back in. Yeah. So when you holding on to it, into you hoarding those links, what affirmation are you setting?
Yeah, but we get that. But what my point is, why is that there?
Because they're scared.
Scared of what?
Scared of not being able to
not being able to have
more.
it.
Yeah, but surely it doesn't take a very smart person or educated person to realize that by giving it away, that other person's going to want to give the opportunity back to you if it comes back.
Or even if that other person doesn't, you're going to get it. See, that's what people have to go back to, like holy books and stuff, or books and realize there's a reason why every book that drives any kind of spirituality puts charity as one of its fundamental things to do. Because when you give, it will come back. It's the natural law of
giving
the universe.
Is receiving.
If you want to put it that.
It's all energy and vibrations, bro.
But giving, you see what people do. There was an analogy someone used to use years ago that said, look, when you point your finger, you're pointing
3 fingers back at you.
3 fingers back at you. So when you give, you're giving, but what you get back. The other analogy is it's like investment. You're putting money in the bank, innit? So even if I don't get it back now, when I cash out, bruv, understand it's going to be large. You see what I'm saying? People need to set their minds.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, it's alien to me.
That's what I'm saying. So for people like us who have this natural way of being, it's really difficult to comprehend and get my head around. Why are you like that? And why are so many? Why are the majority like that? It's not even like you meet a couple of people. Most people are like that.
Society's not conducive to that mindset, though.
Programming,
right? it's divide and conquer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. There's only one promotional space.
Yeah.
And everything that's marketed is marketed based on scarce resource, right? Like buy your ticket so you can win the last space for this XYZ. So this is being programmed into us through infomercials, through our parents, through wider society from an early age, right? There's not enough space for all of us. There's only one top spot, right?
Yeah.
So that's what perpetuates that mindset.
Do you know what? I want to touch on something that you just spoke about that I think doesn't really get spoken about a lot, which is, you just said, for our parents. Generationally, I mean, for my parents, I'm probably like first generation, UK. My parents came from Ghana, yeah? And for them, it was pure survival. It was make it at all costs, send money back home, get the people them good. You see what I'm saying? So for my parents, some of the decisions I've taken, bruv, every day my brother's in town. Every day my brother's like, yeah, mommy don't listen, man. And it's true, because they don't get it. So they've passed this on to us of, just go to school, then go and work for someone. And even the person is in your ear and disrespecting you, abusing you, just take it. Just take it. I can't do that. My character doesn't allow me to sit there and let someone abuse me. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Never that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather...
Yeah, because they come from a different place. They're like, we just got here. We're in a safe place now. We're gonna get that red passport that gives us no visa anywhere that we go. They're like, we're gonna hold it. Dude, I get it. Like they're from a different. They're just a different breed. Our parents.
But I think foundationally though, they didn't have any choice.
Yeah, but everything's different. Even hitting kids. I got licks when I was growing up. Bro.
Talk about it.
I got hit by my mum so much. Once she beat me with a brush, it broke. Brother. Then the beating changed from getting beat for being late to getting beat for breaking her favorite brush. You broke it on me, bro. How is this turning into a prolonged lick for something else?
I concur, bro. You see that story? You see that story?
Do you know what I mean?
I used to get that as well, But mine was even worse. I get beaten for telling the truth. Because they think I'm lying. Then when I change my story because I don't want to
get beat for that, right?
It's like, why were you lying?
But that's what I'm saying. It's different. And to the point is like, I don't hit my kids. Like I haven't hit.
There's no need.
They're 6 years old. There's no need, bro. But they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Like you look at the movies and stuff like that, in the old movies, guys are just slapping women in their face and it's just like, it's what I talk, see? It's just like normal for them. Like we've changed so much.
Yeah, but our parents had to do that though.
Yeah, of course.
Because listen, let's be honest, I've seen some of my friends who didn't get the licks. Our parents had to do that. And if it was the fear of, I'm going to lose this one. You see what I'm saying? Like where I grew up, if I'd been allowed to do what I wanted, I've got family members that won't see another day outside. I've got friends that.
Yeah, but the thing is, they got beats too.
Yes, but the point is this, right? There was leniency. Their beats was different to my beats. I got the beats. They were the local spanks, and where how you grew up, I commend, because you were allowed to question certain things. You were allowed to develop and hone this mindset of, okay, that's good, that's bad. If I make a bad decision, I'm gonna have to live with the consequences of.
Exactly.
Whereas,
but that's the thing though. But this is how I am with my kids now. Like we're very big on trust and very big on, like even the word trust. Yeah. Like if I see them doing something, I'm like, you're not showing me trust right now. And it could be something as simple as, I need to trust that if I tell you something, you stop doing it. Just like you trust me. Yeah. When you ask me something or you need something, and the way I communicate with them is completely different. It all comes from a place of understanding and a place of teaching them that even if a teacher tells you to do something, if you don't want to do it, then question why they're asking you to do it. Just because I'm teaching them that not just because someone's older than you or they're in a position of power, that they can just say whatever they want and you have to say yes. Even me, if I say you're not going outside today, why am I not going outside? If my explanation is not good enough, then we need to speak about it a bit longer until we can come to a conclusion. Yeah. And it works. Yeah. So I understand. I know, like, there's people this age, in this day and age, that are still beating their kids. Yeah. So it's not like it was back then and we needed it or not. I think if you start, the way you start off is the way you're going to continue.
Absolutely.
You know what it is though? I feel like I see both sides of what both of you guys are saying, because I feel like there was more of a need for physical reprimand at a certain point because the world was more hardened. And in the case that you stray, physical reprimand will reach you.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, there's so
whether
many
it's at
systems.
home or outside.
Or outside, right?
Yeah.
But it still will now, though.
No, but
if
you know
you're a
what it is?
dickhead outside, you're still
Even
going to get
worse.
licks from other people.
You know what it is though. You say that though, but the structures are as such where the world is just a lot softer, right? People are a lot softer, and think about the sorts of things you could say you couldn't get away with saying back then
in the day,
versus now, right?
I used to get licks from random Arab dudes. And my parents would be like,
If my eyes,
good.
Yeah.
If I did something wrong in mosque
And they would
school,
bring you to your
or
mum.
if I was outside and another
100%.
Arab saw me doing some madness in the supermarket, or I said something, they'd
takes a whole
slap
village,
me,
innit? Yeah.
But I think there's an additional element, and this is the polar side I see, which is respect isn't obedience. And I think you have
That
to
is
learn
true.
that. And you're,
That is
in
true.
essence, with what you're doing with your children, you're growing sovereign thinkers, right? Because respect doesn't mean you do all that I say, because in you representing that and showing that and demonstrating that, you're showing them that I shall put my thoughts behind any authoritarian figure. And that's going to transfer into school, that's going to transfer into your work, that's going to transfer potentially into your relationship. And that leads to the breakdown of these nucleuses, which makes up the whole of society, right? And then you have weak societies where as soon as they say something, everyone's just going to follow through with that without any second thought.
Dude,
Right?
one of my boys, sorry to interrupt, because I'll forget. One of my boys, till this day here, still gives his kids licks every single day, bro. And I'm like, why? Why? And he's like, because
discipline.
Because they respect me. I said, they won't respect you, they'll fear you. There's a difference, bro.
But
and
also,
he has stuff where they stop talking to him. They're only like 9 years old. Oh, my son isn't talking to me. And I'm like, why do you think that is, bro? Like, that could never happen in my house. That I'm that disjointed from them. That is an option for them, that they're just going to not talk to you. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, there's a difference between respect and fear. Like, I respect my coaches. Do you know what I mean? I don't fear them. I respect them because they show me love and respect.
You don't want to disappoint them.
Yeah.
So you do better.
Exactly.
I think when somebody gets beat consistently, they eventually get to a point where it loses
Doesn't
its
hurt,
meaning.
you don't learn, bro.
It loses its meaning. But what I was going to say though, coming back to it, is there's a passage in the book, The Outliers, that talks about sovereign thinkers and the fact that the millionaires and billionaires of today, there was a study that was carried out as to what is the difference between how they grew up and how the average man grows up. And it shows that they were allowed to question certain things. They were the ones that were allowed to question, okay, well, why? Why? What's the reason behind that? Why should I do that? Why should I make that decision? What's the consequence of that decision? And in doing so, by the time they were in their teens, most of these guys were so kind of understanding of the way the world works that they could start making millionaires and billionaires, bro.
Because you're breaking down all cognitive plasticity when you say it has to be done this way, right? And again, the world engineers you to be such a way, right? Your parents beat the shit out of you, go to school, sit down for X amount of hours.
Teachers mentally beat the shit out of you for a whole time.
etc. Yeah, exactly. So that's when you lose that, right? So I commend people like yourself who raise their kid with such integrity.
So basically, it's my mum's fault that I'm not a millionaire right now. Do you know what? It was a tricky situation with my mum because, so my dad passed away when I was 3. We went to England. So I kind of, this is weird, and I've said this before, I kind of grew up without a mum and a dad because my mum had 3 kids. Instantly, she had to be
both
the discipliner, the dad, and the mum. So she didn't have that. You know, I go to my friend's white mum's house and they're like, oh, you got my, and they're so like feminine. And like, my mum was like, bruv, if you mess around, I'm giving you licks for 45 minutes. And then, do you know what I mean? And then still cooking and still doing that. And I ain't got time for this. So it's kind of a weird thing because you had to assume that masculine role, right?
Yeah. Our stories are very, very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. My biological father died when I was about 3. My mum left when I was 2.
Same age.
To go to the UK. And then I moved to the UK when I was 6.
Very similar.
Yeah. So when I got to the UK, my mum had already remarried, right? But she was set out to make me not suffer, either in the marriage or in life. So she, for me, and now the relationship that me and my mum's got is silly. Like we are so like she's my person. Yeah. But growing up, I felt alone.
I was the same.
I had to survive. I had to teach myself many things.
And also your stepfather couldn't actually really be your father because he didn't want to assume that I'm trying to be your father.
Correct.
Kind of thing. I had that
in those early. But again, now our relationship is incredible because he's seen my maturity and he's built a level of trust to know that, okay, well, listen, I can be close to him now without any kind of external
stepping
thing.
on any toes or trying to be
this is it.
Replace anyone.
But yeah, I get that. I get that whole thing of feeling like you had to kind of raise yourself or learn things yourself because my mum did the same thing with me.
Same thing.
But it was protection.
He's looking at us going,
no, you know what it is? My biological father's still
Clarence.
here.
His parents are in a real happy marriage.
No. You know what it is? I grew up with my stepdad.
Okay.
Right? So in essence, I had 2 dads.
Okay.
And my 2 dads are 2 of the same, but very, very different.
Don't show us.
We're all Leos, which is...
Oh, you're Leo as well?
Yeah, I'm a Leo.
That's why we...
Are you a Leo?
Yeah, I was going to say that's why we get on, but then I don't believe in that. That's in Mercury's anus and all that stuff.
No, listen, there's a lot of merit to that. We talk about we have to talk about that.
I'm Leo, my wife's Leo, and both my kids are Leo. But my eldest is a Scorpio.
Yeah.
That's why he's taller than me.
Well, you're gonna have a lot of disco then. Yeah. But
I don't believe in
they're
that
they're 2 of the same, but they're very polar, right? Wayne taught me martial arts. Wayne is the person who was the more of the constant figure in my household. My dad was a gangster, right? But it's almost like his kind of cup overflew into different areas of life, and he couldn't contain that masculine essence. Whereas Wayne was very focused and driven in his martial arts endeavors. And the 2 things I learned from both was like it ended up creating forming who I am now, but allowing me to kind of teeter-totter through things
between both.
Exactly, like being really hardened and the more tyrannical masculine archetype, but then also being very intellectual and very learned and very stoic about certain things. So it was really interesting, but it caused a lot of confusion though, right? Because think about think about like on Father's Day. On Father's Day, when my dad, because there's a period of time when my
you just hold the 2 cards. You're like, I'm gonna figure this one out.
There was a period of time when my biological dad was homeless, and I didn't know at the time. I know because I've spoken to him, I had a conversation with him as a man, where I would, and when he came back into my life and started to get his feet back on the ground, I would go to see him on Father's Day, and I'd feel awkward about telling Wayne Happy Father's Day because it's weird. It's like you know I fuck with you, I've got love with you, but it's one of the ones where I just felt like I'm betraying my biological dad by giving you something. So it created a bit of a dissonance, which in me moving to Dubai has created the space for me to really understand what I was going through. But it's a very unique experience.
He got the best of both worlds. He got the zen of the martial arts, and then we have one house I go.
But it's beautiful though.
Yeah,
I love that.
Bro, it is. And the one thing that I just learned growing up, and we spoke about this earlier, I was very much a catch me if you can, Leonardo DiCaprio kind of guy. That's how I kind of raised myself, bro. I'd just be a chameleon, bro. I'd just sit back and I'd analyze everything that was going on. I'd be like, okay, I got that mirrored now. I'd look at another situation, okay, I got that mirrored now. Because I went to, really weird. So I grew up in basically Earls Court, Shepherd's Bush, Hammersmith, Kensington.
Okay.
On the corner there.
Okay.
Right by Russell Road there. I went to St Mary Abbott's Primary School, which was Kensington Church of England private school, basically.
I know it.
So I had all of that rich ass friends there. Then I went to Holland Park for secondary school. So I had that whole madness. So I had like so many different groups where I'd literally go with little Ralph shirt with my posh friends and be like, oh yeah. And then I'd just go to the other ones and I'd just be like normal. And it's like, it taught me to kind of just like be a chameleon and and survive and all that stuff. Like when I was in Brazil, people were like, oh, it's dangerous. You can't go around there and what stuff. Bro, I was in the favelas with Havaianas on, board shorts, no t-shirt, and just speaking Portuguese, like running on the rooftops and stuff. Like, it's like, if you put that in your mind that you're unsafe or whatever, you're just gonna be like that everywhere.
Of course.
Bro. Do you know
but
what I
it
mean?
vibrates through you.
Yeah.
It vibrates. I'm one of those people, I feel like I can walk into
Anywhere,
anywhere.
right? Yeah.
Anywhere. Where in Brazil were you?
Where?
Yeah.
Sao Paulo,
So was
Rio, Floripo.
So was I. We got to
Minas
talk.
Gerais. Bro, I was a capoeirista, bro. I used to in Bahia. Bahia is sick.
We've got to talk after this. But yeah, I'm that mindset of I'll go in. And it's weird because sometimes I'm looking at my people and I'm like, oh, come then, let's go. And people don't, I'll go anywhere. Because I don't believe anything's gonna happen to me. And if it does, then I'm kind of like, I'll deal with it as it comes.
If you get robbed in one place, you get robbed every place.
But this is it.
Do you know what I mean?
But
bro, I spent 2 years traveling around the world with no shoes on and a backpack, bro.
Sick.
Like, and I think that helped me a lot as well with that whole chameleonness. Because I'd literally land in a country and I'd just be like, all right, let's just figure it out, bro.
That's dope.
And
that's one thing I always wanted to do, that backpacking thing.
Bro, it's amazing.
I always wanted to do it, but my mum,
It's the best thing. And I stayed in the dirtiest hostels ever, bro. Like proper backpackers hostels where there was like 100 other people there who were also doing the same thing as you.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about it is that each country was one after another. So you'd make friends with people and then you decide, all right, cool, I'm bouncing. If I like you, I'm staying for a bit longer. If I'm not, I'm bouncing to Chile tomorrow. So it's cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I was supposed to be in Argentina for 4 days. I stayed 4.5 weeks. And it wasn't even chicks, it was the steaks, bro. They have the best steak ever. I had 42 steaks, and I counted them, 42 steaks in 4.5 weeks. And then we went from VUUZLE de Iguazu to Brazil.
Nice.
From there, like, I think that experience everyone has to do. But now, being a father, if my kids were like, we want to just go traveling around the world, I'd be like, yeah, but look, it's not safe around the world and all that. That's my initial thought, just from the protectiveness. But I'd let them go. I'd have to let them go.
Why do you think you need to protect them? Having experienced a life of abundance because you got to experience.
I would need to analyze them first.
Okay, if they're ready.
If they're
Were
ready.
you ready?
Bro, I was ready, bro.
Yeah?
Bro, I was ready, bro. I had moved out of home when I was 16, bro. I was Del Boy straight up. Like, I was, you could put me anywhere. Like, you know that Jay-Z quote, like, put me anywhere on earth and I'll triple my worth, bro. I was that guy. Like, and again, because I could be that comedian, I know, like, I read situations very quick. So I know how, if I go into a group of little Irish guys, you know, I'll know what they find funny. I'll know what they kind of, what warms them, what comforts them, kind of thing. Speaking other languages. If you speak another language and you go to that country and you start speaking to them, they're like, "Oh, this guy's cool. He's taken time to learn our language and our culture." So they're like, "All right, cool. You can come in here," kind of thing. You know. So I think that's important.
Speaking from indigenous cultures in general, right?
Absolutely.
Like we recognize one another, right? And especially the more you go to places where they're closer to the poverty line, it's just they're very open, right? It's these very metropolitan cities that have that kind of division. But go to those places, they're cool.
Yeah, the metropolitan cities is what programs people, right?
I don't get it. It's all the same.
No, but that's it. Everyone has to be a robot. You've all got to go to work, all start at the same time, all finish at the same time, take lunch break at the same time. They're creating robots because that's the only way they can keep you
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you
need
come
a
in
conducive workforce.
This is it.
Yeah.
So the sooner people break out of that,
Bro, I always say that the third world is the spiritual first world.
it is though. That's where everything started.
And vice versa. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like the first world, spiritually and mentally, is the third world because they're so far away from.
Yeah. There is no spirituality there.
And then you find the yoga girls like, I'm spiritual.
The third world is what built the first world, right?
Yeah,
it was the third world labor that built the first world.
That's where everything started.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's the core of the core of
they
humanity.
appropriated all of our culture, made it their own, and
bro, 100%,
relabeled
like,
it, and started cutting noses off of sphinxes.
Bro,
in Egypt,
I'm telling
and
you, bro. You know when people
go
to me like, oh, you know, they talk about Arabs and being third world. I'm like, bro,
you don't know.
We brought you music, poetry, astrology, astronomy, maths. Soap, you dirty bastard. Before us, you used to
Didn't
bathe.
even wash your hands
We never had don't throw the baby out with the bath water.
Yeah, never that.
You know what that saying is from? What it means, yeah?
Because the whole family bathes straight.
The whole family would
and the
bathe in
baby's
it,
the last.
and the baby's the last one. And the water's so dirty, bruv.
Yeah.
That's how they used to get
when
sick.
they used to pour it out, they'd be like, the water's so black from dirt. From all the stuff that sometimes the baby would get mixed up in and it just dash out the window. Bro,
You know that phrase?
That's what it is. I know the phrase, but I didn't know where it came from.
We gave like so much to the world. Bro,
Yeah.
you look at Africa and I don't want to get into it now because I'm going to start like cussing races and stuff, bro.
The funny thing is we're into all that etymology.
Yeah.
We learn all that kind of stuff.
How can the Congo be the richest country in the world
but the GDP is
in
the lowest.
resources
Yeah.
but be the poorest
Come on.
It's crazy.
country in Africa?
Talk the thing.
Yeah.
Bro, how?
Yeah.
Like if you look at the minerals, bro, the minerals alone. Like
Cobalt,
I'll give it to them,
like,
bro.
We got all of us
All
have
the
got
phones,
here.
yeah.
If it wasn't for
Have them
gunpowder,
all
bro,
like that, yeah.
everything would have been different.
Yeah, but
if the Chinese kept it, they were like, we're going to make fireworks out of it. We're not going to use it for gun.
Yeah.
Once they found that gunpowder and they started going on them boats, that's when...
Yeah, but you see this thing, it's the elephant and the string principle, right? The gunpowder's no longer there as much.
But it was there. Yeah, bro. But you know why they let them in? You know why the Africans let in the people, right?
Of course.
So they saw the cross on the sails of the ship and the cross was close to the Ankh, right? So because they saw that it's the same shape of the Ankh, they were like, oh, you guys are spiritual people, we're going to bring you in. Little did they know that these fuckers had a whole different plan, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just weird, bro. I'll get cancelled if I keep going into it, bro.
We'll
have a proper
I'm
conversation.
here for it. There's a lot.
We'll have a proper conversation, but
I'm here for it.
People are different, bro. Like, all right, we're doing this. Are we doing this?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Yeah.
I was saying, please, I'm not racist at all.
I know
at all.
Yeah.
But there's a fact in life. I don't warm to European white people like I do to every other race. There's something different. The only ones I do, my best friend is white Irish. But you know why? Because all his friends are from different cultures.
Beautiful.
And he's different.
Beautiful.
Bro. I can meet a black guy in the middle of nowhere. Within 10 minutes, bro, we're busting bare jokes. I can meet an Indian guy within 10 minutes. If you meet a German, bro, in the middle of that, it's different, bro.
It's cold.
They're cold, bro.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's like they're missing that, you know, that soul that we have, which is different, bro.
And
that's why they took over the world.
Do you know what? Think about coming from a place that's so culturally shallow, even in terms of like resources, right? Like they had to go to Africa to build up their societies, right? So we've got everything. We had music, we had dance, we had art, we had the minerals and the resources of the world, and they're living in the cold back arts of Eastern Europe.
But the worst is that they make it out like we had nothing, bro. Like, do you know the kings of Africa, what they used to robe themselves in back in the day, bro? Yeah. Like, but they go, oh, these barbaric people didn't have nothing when we got there, and
but you know
we taught them everything. It's like, bro, man, come on, man, bro, please,
they came and took what we had. Brought it back and pretended it was there.
Yeah, but whoever wins the war writes history.
Of course, that's what it is.
It's his story, right?
It's
his story.
That's what it is.
But if I tell you it,
and
I'm not the winner, then it's a mystery. Story. It's my story, right?
Exactly.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
But was the African saying, for as long as the hunter stays alive, the lion will never get to tell his story.
Yeah. Bro, it's just weird, bro. I'm just like, you ruined the whole world. And I don't know how they got away with it.
But you're seeing the shift, though. We're seeing the shift,
in
real time, right? Yeah. The West is failing. It's moving towards the Middle East.
That is it.
And the East. And then it's going to end up in Africa.
Look, there's certain things that I don't understand. I know there's power and I know there's thingy, but like you said, things have changed. How is Haiti still paying France
corruption
on everything that? Do you know that? Do you know France? There's certain African countries that they have to use the franc.
Of course.
How are we still there now?
It's corruption. I'll tell you that straight up. It's corruption, unfortunately. And being African, I speak out loud about this. I told my mum when I was 15 that there's one career I'll never go into, despite the fact that I knew how to use my voice, which is politics. And it's not because I don't want to talk or help people. It's simply on the fact that everyone I've ever known, no matter how clean or pure their heart is, when they get into certain groupings of politics, immediately things change. And when you really observe it, two things happen. Either they understand, okay, well, I can make as much for me as possible, or they understand if I speak too loud, I'm going to get killed, right? So corruption is the base, is the thing that got us where we were in the first place, and it's the same thing that is stopping us from progressing.
Yeah, that's dude, you're certainly right. And this is another thing when I speak to other friends, and a lot of my friends are like, oh, slavery, and blah, blah. I'm like, bro, don't get it twisted. The biggest slave master who sold slaves was black. Tip o' tip, bro. So everyone's to blame. There's always that one dickhead, bro, that does that. Arabs sold Arabs, bro.
100%.
Like,
still do.
It's I mean, don't get me wrong, America's the worst, bro. But like,
but are they though?
No one is pure, bro.
You saying American are the worst? Are they though?
Yeah, they are, bro.
They facilitated, yes, but to facilitate, like to go and bring these people over, somebody has to be willing.
Party.
This is my point. It started with us.
No, but also like, apart from Genghis Khan, I can't remember many people in history who went and just wiped people. You got to remember the Native Americans of America. Like, they were there. And I don't know, this crazy narrative, and it happens with all of this stuff, is that, oh, there was no one there before, or they were savages.
But Australian Aborigines, same thing, right? It's a perpetuating cycle of they're there, they don't know anything, I'm going to take what they have. And like you said, if you've got certain resources, you can. America does it
They still do it now. That's what I'm saying. I said my thing. You have to say your thing, bro. We're all getting cancelled, bro. We're all getting cancelled. People are like, we came to speak about mental health, and we're all like, please, mother.
No, but listen,
that's true.
It happens all the time. Day to day, right? If I've got access to certain resources, I'm better than you, right? In essence, is what it is. And so you take situations like COVID, where they were sending out of date and damaged resource to Africa, thinking we were less than them. But when it's all said and done, where was the disease less affecting? The same place you're saying I'm not going to send the resources to.
Bro, in Zanzibar, that's why I love it. Zanzibar's my favorite place on earth.
No.
He was like, we tested, what was it? A cantaloupe. The cantaloupe had COVID. What is this that we're doing here, bro? Like, they tested goats. And they're all coming back positive, bro. He was like, I ain't doing this COVID thing. I ain't playing no part in this.
He cancelled. But he died not long after. And they said it was COVID.
But they're always trying to stop people. Like the guy that made the water petrol.
Yeah.
You know, the water cards.
Yeah.
God,
yeah,
bro.
class. Yeah. It's crazy.
There was an African saying. There was an old African saying. Remember that?
There's the old African Desmonds.
You wouldn't remember
the old African saying.
Oh,
you don't know Desmonds, bro.
You don't know Desmonds?
You got to send them Desmonds, bro.
I'll send you Desmonds.
Desmonds
was
like
a program. It was like the program.
One of the programs, bro.
Okay, see?
Yeah.
Of London,
It
like England.
it was
It's
a
a barber
Jamaican
shop.
barber in Peckham.
Yeah.
And in there, he used to have like a couple of people that his friends that used to just
You're not coming
chill.
to America?
Yeah, I've watched
See the
it.
barbershop
that
scene?
scene?
Yeah.
The whole
It's
episode is
taken
taken
from
off.
there.
The whole
Okay.
series.
Okay.
No.
It was
It's the other way
episode
around.
after episode.
Thingy was
So
first.
Desmond was in...
Desmond was first.
First, yeah.
Okay,
So,
see.
but what
And
I'm
then Coming
saying
to America was influenced by that.
Yeah, I guess it was. But what I'm
must have
saying,
been.
the whole of Desmond's was like that. It was just the barbershop.
Okay, see.
It must have been
just-
influenced
Yeah,
because
it must have
if
been,
you
right?
look at if you look at the characters that played Coming to America, they were designed to be just like the guys in Desmond. But there was an African guy who's gone in Desmond's who every episode always had to come out with there's an old African saying. He always had a saying for everything.
Okay, see.
When a fly lands on your face.
I forgot. I even forgot what the point I was trying to make. But that was enjoyable
You got
within
me that,
itself.
bro. I want to watch Desmond's again, man.
I'm sad. They
Yeah,
ended it.
there was
But that
some
was a
famous
great.
people in there.
Desmond's are proper, man.
All right. Do you think we're inherently evil?
Evil.
Evil?
Man.
What do you mean? How would you define
I mean, just
evil?
going off the subject that we were talking about now.
No,
How do
but
we
I
get
think-
to that?
No, but I think your circumstance and your station in life can lead to nefarious actions. That's what I would say.
Okay.
I oppose, but I'll talk about that after.
Okay.
I oppose as well. I don't think we're evil. I think as human,
I don't think we're evil. I think your station in life can lead to
Yeah, but
nefarious
look,
actions.
would you?
That doesn't mean
no.
that's
But
that's not
would you?
evil.
If you were broke, would you go and kill another man and take his money?
If the circumstance was dire enough, yes. Absolutely.
couldn't.
A random man. Not
Yeah.
some guy that would walk past you and spit on you on the street or whatever. Just a random guy with his
An innocent-
family.
No, but I think
Innocent bystander.
I
An
think
innocent
if
bystander with his family. You see him taking kids to school.
no,
You're homeless.
But there's no gain from that, right? There's no gain from
But
that.
this is what's been happening.
No, but
there is
I
gain
think-
from it. You get money. You get his money. You're going to go in there, take his house.
If it was just me providing for myself and I didn't have a family to provide for, well, then the instance is different, right? I would have to find another way. But in the case that it is extreme enough, you have family that need feeding and they're on the verge of dying.
Would you not go steal a bit of food?
Yeah, but again, in it, would I be faced with such a dire circumstance if I had the option to steal food? If I had the option, of course, I would take every other option outside of that. But in the point you're making, right? If we're living in those nefarious times where those things were happening, we need to illustrate it in a way that's consistent to the circumstance. And in those circumstances, most definitely.
I hear you on that. I still oppose. I think as
I don't think I would. I think even if it
couldn't.
was that case and my kids weren't eating, I'd find any other way than to go to a random person and take their kids.
how couldn't
What if you
though?
couldn't?
There is no way where you
Go
couldn't.
and kill a dog.
Yeah, there is
but
no way
watch
that
a
you
snake.
can.
I don't know.
No. But what I'm saying to you again,
I'd even go to the guy's
to-
house and say, listen, I'm planning on killing you. So either you share this or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, but we need to, that's what I'm saying to you. We need to illustrate an instant which is consistent with the point.
I
Because
hear-
you
I
guys
hear-
are
I hear
always
what you-
saying that,
I hear
oh,
what
what
you're
about the
saying.
dog? What about,
Yeah.
oh, I'd go and find an apple?
No, I hear what you're
well,
saying,
in
which
any
is-
instance, of course, I'll go to those
No, but
lengths.
that's
But
a psychological thing. Where
if it's dog eat
there's
dog,
a train going on a track,
Yeah.
and there's your
If it's
son
you-
on that
if it-
one, or
if it's-
100 people, strangers
yeah.
there, would you switch the track to kill
no,
all
but
of them?
look, if it's from my court and like I said, I'll call people my brothers, I'll call people my sisters. If it's my family, no, that's a totally different instance. If you're a stranger to me and the instance is so dire, like let's, again,
I hear you
to illustrate a point, like let's say Squid Games or any of these programs, right? If it's like that, I will take you out.
But the world wasn't like that when they did that. This is what I'm saying.
For me,
they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in that instance, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
For me, I it's gonna sound so soft, but anyway, fuck it. I believe that foundationally we're all made from love, and there is inherently something within us that causes us to be able to say, okay, cool. To hurt someone else is not cool. We all feel it, right? And
I think that's God given, bro. That's
but we will have that within us, whether you choose to follow or not. We will have that in us. So with that being said, I think it takes a hardened man or a man that's chosen to ignore that thing that's within them to go and kill someone. I struggle. I was telling my brother this the other day. I was driving. I hit a bird. The bird flew off my windscreen. But the feeling I had for the rest of that morning. Now, imagine doing that to a man. Now, it's different if it was protection. If I didn't have...
Bro, I'm the same as you, bro. I cried during X Factor when somebody who doesn't look like they're supposed to sing
I don't know about
sings
that one.
really well. Bro, you ain't never done that. You're honestly telling me that this guy comes on and he looks like the worst, bro.
No, I've never done
and then
that,
he
bro.
sings with the voice of an angel, and everyone starts getting really happy for him, and you're just like so happy for him getting that joy from the people.
No, I'm happy for him, but I don't cry.
Yeah, I wouldn't cry, but...
Bro, I cried in Lion King, bro. Scar's a dickhead, bro.
No, but my point is, it's different if it's protection.
Yeah.
If you're coming for my people...
No, yeah, obviously.
I'll take your head off.
Wouldn't you say the instance of providing for your family still comes under the umbrella of protection?
Which is why I can understand.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because I'm the same. When I had kids, I was like, I'm ready to kill now. Before kids, I was
I ain't got
normal.
kids, but if my little cousin
kids,
Messiah needs food and...
No, but it's not necessarily food, but I mean, like, I would always say, I'm not going to kill no one, but if anyone touched my kids inappropriately or stuff like that,
bruv, there's things
I'm ready
I've
to kill.
come
Even
to
the
pieces
thought of
in
it,
my mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you fuck with my thing, I'm going to push your thing back. And that's just it.
And I'm happy to do it with a good conscience.
And I will lay down on my prison bed and just sleep like a baby.
Even the thought of it. Even the thought
I feel like killing someone
just
now. That's what I'm saying, bro.
But that's an important facet of masculinity, which I feel like we're losing nowadays, right? Because we live in a pacifistic society. You hear men say, oh, if someone broken into my house, I'll go and hide my family in the fridge and I'll try and converse with the killer. No, if you come into if you break into that bubble, I don't care where we are, and this is on record, you're getting soaked up. And that's the same.
Bro, I'm the same.
That's my castle.
And especially like growing up like with martial arts and stuff like that. It's like, we'll talk later. And I have to squash this now. That's why I love jiu-jitsu, bro. It's the art of folding clothes with people inside them still, bro.
Man, you know what it is? Man, know martial arts as well, but try know I'm going for my wetter.
But you're going to finish.
I'm going for maximum damage now.
Yeah, but you're still going to go, hey, the martial arts are still going to be in there, bro. You make the noise.
It's going to be like...
Man said the noise follows.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be death by 1,000 cuts in it.
No, but this is the thing, though, is there isn't time to think. If it's a protection thing, there isn't time to think. Maximum damage always. Because I'm trying to stop you from getting to my people. Coming back to the question at hand, though, or the conversation at hand, if it's purely... Feeding your family is a form of protection, and so yes, but in such instances, as you said, I couldn't think of a situation where I can't exhaust other things. I couldn't. The people that generally will turn around and be like, oh yeah, it's that dire, the ones that are usually on something. You see what I'm saying?
Grass. They're making that the scapegoat for.
We're eating grass today.
They're making it the scapegoat for the fuck we want to do, right?
Exactly.
I'm most certainly not illustrating that point, but again, there are instances where, and I've had conversation at length about this, and again, it's again, you know, by God's grace, we'll never end up in such circumstances, right? But there are certain things in life I've come to absolute peace with. Absolute peace with that idea. And I'm fine with it. So even you think about the idea of reaction, right? It's not a reaction. This is a conscious... It's premeditated, right?
But the thing is, because you're like that, it will never have to be the case.
This is the case. Because you always find another way to come. But that's the taekwondo in you. Because so I did taekwondo as well, right? From a taekwondo perspective,
you're proper kickers, boy.
You're taught. No, so I did ITF, so I'm not a kicker.
So I'm on the keyboard.
No, so my school of taekwondo is the stuff that they teach the Korean army.
Okay,
is designed to.
For self-defense purposes.
It's pure self-defense.
Yeah.
The WTF, the Olympic stuff is kick. We kick, but we also learn how to use weapons and to throw and to fold people over. And in my household, my dad grew up doing different forms of martial arts. So we learned Aikido, right?
Okay,
so Jiu-Jitsu, very similar. We learned Wing Chun.
I like Wing Chun as well, bro. Wushu Kwan, Chinese kickboxing, all that stuff.
So we even down to like using kendo.
Okay.
Like we were introduced to kendo. And how to fight with certain swords and weapons. So for me, in a situation like that, it's like, okay, cool, I understand, but it should never happen to that. It should never get to that. But I also fancy myself being so sound of mind that I don't need to think about it. Like I know that if it comes to it, it's gonna take, because it's in there.
Violence is a last resort.
Yeah, it's in there.
Let's be real, right? And it's funny because I think like you guys grew up playing chess, yeah? People and there's two things, right? Like chess and martial arts, and seldom have people done both. But when you've done both, your mind just it's like I view the world through like a sequence of patterns. I see patterns and shapes, and I can predict people's actions.
Even when someone's walking towards me, bro, aggressively, I'm just like, all right, he's gonna do that. His foot is facing that way. His hips are facing that.
If I need to kick him, I can kick him that.
Like even when I say, look, I don't want look. I know I got both my hands up close to your face, bro. Like anytime I can twist that. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Because you know what it is?
Those eyes are closer now to my fingers.
I'm like, it's for your own safety, right? Because at the end of the day, if I go and put hands on you now, I could potentially really collapse you. Do you understand? And is it worth for the sake of you doing something very, you know?
But that's what you were taught to do. You were taught to finish someone off. Like the guy who taught me taekwondo, Mark Gopal, he always used to say, "Is like you got two options. You either put him down so he can't get up, or you put him down so you can get out of there." And
that's very important, dude.
So for me, it's one of those two things. In a situation, it's one of those two things.
You know how I found my teacher? So I used to do a lot of just different stuff like Systema and stuff like that. So there was this guy called Ninja from Grove that used to teach us. He taught us everything, Wing Chun, weapons, all that stuff. And the first day, I remember training with him, why I knew that he was the one. I said to him, if someone pulling a knife to me, like, what's the best thing for me to do? And he said, you put your feet like this, you turn them this way, and you run. And I was like,
that's the first line of defense.
He was like, okay.
Avoidance.
He's like, if you're against the wall and you can't run, then this is what you do. But your first instinct should be run as fast as you can.
Because you live to fight another day.
I got in trouble once in class for that. We was doing, for one of our gradings, we had to do like, for all of our gradings, we had to do self-defense, right? And the door was behind me and there was two attackers. And I'm like going straight to engage, And then he's like, no. He's like, hold on, the door's there. He's like, so you've decided to engage with these two attackers. One of them could have a knife on them and you could be outnumbered, whatever, right? And you didn't decide to get out? And then it's like, okay, the penny drop, so avoid these altercations at all costs, right?
It's last resort. It's last resort.
What do you find, and I know this is a broad spectrum, and I'm going to bring it back to mental health because all your people are going to be like, and you guys talked about like devils and martial arts for the whole thing.
We're mental health at the core. But mentality basically is a platform to be able to talk about everything. Okay, so that's everything. Good. What's the biggest pain point or problem you find that is a general one amongst men? And does that change with age?
I think I would say just because it frequents the most is women. Women. And when I say women, it's a broad placeholder for many things, right? In essence, you go back to biology, it's to your ability to procreate. If you cannot attract a woman, in essence, you cannot fulfill your biological duty. Right. And at the core, everything we do is to attract a mate. in any instance. Everything you think of doing, whether it's your money, whether it's your martial arts acumen, whether it's your ability to speak well, speak multiple languages, it's to be able to spread your seed far and wide. Whether you go and deploy that is a different story. But biologically, that is the underlying hard one, and that's what a lot of men are struggling with.
That's why I learned
that's what I'd say.
Spanish. That's why I learned Portuguese.
So you can talk to more
because
women.
I wanted to chat to Latinas. I went through a phase where I liked Latinas, and I was like, how can I get a one up on my boys?
Makes absolute sense.
Like by being able to chat to them, and my boys don't know how to do it. I'm already 2 steps ahead of them.
Yeah,
makes absolute sense. I think you've touched on the other thing, which is positioning in society. We all want a certain level of power, or we all want a platform of some sort, right? We all want people to look at us and understand that we are validated members of society. And so if it's not having the most beautiful woman, is how can I have the most money, the best career, the biggest house? So
the best body,
which nowadays is becoming a thing, right? So much so that people are not even working for it. They're going under the knife. So I think that is a fundamental problem in that we are no longer operating within our sovereign selves. We are all being consumed by what society or culture or religion is telling us. That we've forgotten how to think for ourselves.
How important, and I mean, coming from trainers and stuff, how important do you think it is, and it's an obvious answer, but maybe some people don't see it, is to be in shape as a man?
Paramount.
Because I used to be, when I used to train with people, my first thing that I used to do is make sure that they can do a pull-up and hold it there. They'd be like, why? I'd be like, if you can't do this pull-up,
you can't hold
you
yourself.
don't have the power to save your own life.
You can't hold yourself.
Because if you fell off a ledge and you had to hold onto that ledge and bring yourself back onto it, imagine not being able to save your own life just because you fell off something.
Listen, stronger people are better for society. I'm just going to put it as plain and simple as that. And I always say a weak body cannot harbor a strong mind. It's impossible.
Correct.
They're antithesis of one another. So if you want strong, sovereign men in society, you need to start here. And this is the foundation. This is the place you can start before everything else. Before you can learn multiple languages, before you develop business acumen, before you become an accomplished man, you can start with self.
And you don't even need anything.
Yeah, without money.
Yeah.
You
don't need anything.
And it shows status, right? For women, it's sexual dimorphism. In yourself, it shows delayed gratification, dignity, and your
Pride in
ability
your
to
appearance.
abstain from things that are bad for you. It is like
Discipline.
It is again, we posted on our page, right? It's the greatest like silent flex, right?
Correct.
If I'm in shape. And also it's a deterrent for violent situations.
Correct.
People see you be like, because look, as men, let's be real.
You don't
bruv.
even have to be able to fight.
Yeah.
If you look like
It's a
you can
deterrent.
fight, people are like, nah.
Because men, when we meet each other, like, let's be real here.
We look at
Like,
each
let's
other.
really
We
be
know.
real. We're thinking, you know what? Can I
back him up?
Yeah. There's it's innate
You
to
can't,
us, right?
but
but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love it. But
I'll let
That's like,
you,
you know that thing where
Yeah.
when growing up in school, everyone thought that they were the best at sex, bro. Everyone thinks that they're the best bang in the world, bro.
I still do.
no, but yours, though, that's
You're
important
not,
though, bro.
but like, no, I get it though. No,
It's
seriously.
inherently masculine, man.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. And iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
So I would say it's absolutely paramount. And it's unacceptable to be out of shape.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm the same, bro. I don't get it, bro.
I couldn't not do something active. I just think I often talk to a lot of my friends that are like gamers. I don't get it.
No, be a gamer, but just be a ripped gamer.
But I can't. Even within that, like invest your time doing something. Like, step out,
Bro, you say that, bro. I had Jan Mardens, bro, on the show. I don't know if you know who he is. Jan. So have you seen the film Gran Turismo?
Yeah.
So the kid that was about,
Okay.
I had him on.
Okay. Ripped.
Not ripped, but what I'm saying is gaming. He spent his time gaming. His parents were like, don't be gaming and stuff, but he won a PlayStation competition. Then from that competition got to drive the real cars and then won
crazy.
Won the race. He won the France thing. Yeah. Le
But
Mans.
listen, I fine.
Once in a lifetime, all the rest of the game was playing Mario. Ain't the same,
Even beyond that,
Yeah.
right? Even beyond that, look at the story there. There was ambition in what he did. There was discipline in what he did. Right? That he had a goal. There was focus.
Yeah.
Most gamers.
Listen, gaming's a jolting, bro. And I'll give it 100. You know why? Because it's vicarious accomplishment. Like, think about it, right? You're building up your GTA character, you're building up your Minecraft. Like, I don't know what these games. I'm just like trying to go into the deep crevices of my mind, and you're building that player up so much, not understanding that as a man you can do the exact same thing. For adults. Yeah.
Bro, not kids. Kids need it.
Yeah.
Just what you were saying. My son used to play Fortnite, my oldest son. He's like, Baba, can you send me some money?
For the skin or something like that, yeah.
So I sent him £200. And you know, it was even less. It was like £100. The next day he starts sending me back, I got these clothes, I got these clothes, I got these clothes. And I was like, you dickhead, for that money, you could have bought real clothes for you in real life. In real life, you could have bought yourself 3 outfits. But you bought it for a game.
I get it as a child.
Bro, he was 16.
I don't.
He was 16, 17, bro.
Oh, yeah, no.
I was like, you could have literally bought yourself new clothes for yourself.
Yeah, kalas.
I don't get it for a child, because you are training that child to be operating. And this is, again, when you look at all this AI, that AI shit, bro, it messes with me, bro. Because you're programming human beings to be in acceptance that you're no longer going to be able to use your mind. Computer's gonna do it for you.
Do you know what the thing is ChatGPT, bro? That, bro? You know how many people I see putting that under their pictures and stuff, and I'm like, it's so obvious that it's ChatGPT.
But you know what it is? I feel like with AI is what computers were 20 years ago.
Correct.
And I feel like it's just gonna become integrated, right? Because you could argue that computers and your phone and your access to Google hasn't robbed you of your ability to be an intellectual, valuable pillar.
It's actually helped you.
And I feel like AI is going to just do the same thing.
Yes, no, but he's talking about the bots. He's talking about
how many people are locked into their phones and don't actually know how to do things? How many?
Bro, I saw somebody walk into a tree today.
Listen,
I'm not joking. But then what, on their phone, I saw them walk into a tree, this girl.
But what do we blame the technology for that?
No.
We can't blame the technology for that.
The technology facilitates. The programming comes from people telling you that's the way to do it. That's the only, and it comes again. Let's get I mean, we've gotten deep into a lot of things. Schools, yes. The programming starts there. I was talking to my wife the other day, who's a teacher, and she's like, "Yeah, every kid has. As part of the school uniform, as part of their school uniform, the child must have an iPad." What?
I'm lucky they're only 6, bro. We haven't got to the iPad yet. That's a conversation I'm going to have.
My child teaches
I'm not into homework, bro.
FS.
I'm not into homework, bro. What do you mean homework? What am I paying you for? Finish the work in school. You're bringing the homework home, bro. Why am I doing your job for you? Did you see that video about it?
No, I haven't.
Guys, like, I don't send my kid to school with dishes in his hand and say, you know, we didn't finish washing the dishes. You wash them there, bro. But finish the schoolwork.
At the same time, I think I concur with that, because I think there needs to be an importance. Again, programming. There needs to be an importance in understanding when to switch off from certain things.
We need family time. When he comes back from school,
come home. It's family time. Because
what
it then transpires to is now you're in the office and the boss says, "I've got this project for you."
Yeah, finish.
And you're in there till 7, 8, 9, 10, and you're
okay, and your family's at home.
Life is suffering.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm paying. They should be going to NASA, bro. I'm paying NASA prices for the schools in this country, man. He comes home, I'm like, theory of relativity now, please. It's like 6. I'm like, tell me what an atom is now.
Imagine if
I don't want the sky is blue.
Imagine if he starts moving out.
I want better stuff, bro. For the money I'm paying, I want some real knowledge, bro.
It's interesting though, because I think at what point do we stop blaming society, right? And I'm not prefacing that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, a lot of parents are not instilling anything within their children anyway, right?
That is true.
They're raising their children and then they're giving them to strangers to program them.
Correct.
But then when they come home, they're so disassociated.
Do they not?
No. You're not allowed to keep your kids away from school.
No.
In most countries,
you send them to school. Send them to school. But when they come back home, what are you exactly? That's what I'm saying, right? You putting them in front of a screen to be programmed even more. Like you just about reading them a bedtime story. That's the result of your inputs, right? So that's what I'm saying. We can sit here and blame AI. We can blame the school system. We can blame all of these things. But especially as a man, like my stance is the power lies with you, right? You can change the trajectory. All of us can sit here and talk about how we're changing the trajectory and we turn the tide within our own families. And that's because of us deploying our own ingenuity, right?
Correct.
Us deciding to make that choice. So if other people aren't going to do that, well then so be it.
No, I get that, but fuck them all. AI, all of that stuff, bro.
No, that shit scares me, man.
No, I rock with AI. I rock with AI.
ChatGPT, bro.
I rock with that.
Yeah, but you're creative.
Yeah,
so it's different.
I rock with that.
Yeah, but you're creative.
But I think that's worse.
No, because
So just harnesses and
he's
adds
he's harnessing
what I'm
and
doing.
enhancing what he's already doing from a creative perspective. He's not relying on it to make it.
I'm not outsourcing my thinking through that.
Okay, but so do you say stuff like, write me this in a style of this and this and
well,
this?
the thing is, you can only use it to your ability of inputs, right? So if I write in something very vague, I'm going to get a very vague output. So the thing is, you still need to be able to use the tool very well.
You will lose Kori from that.
No, you won't.
Because even if you give it the prompts, what's coming back is never going to be as genuine as if you wrote it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to is you can then take that and add to that, right? It's just a tool.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is, do you add to that, or do you go, this looks pretty good?
No. I always do, and again, it goes back to like the eclectic nature of the things I do, right? So training is one of the things I do. I have a creative studio mentality. So there's a few different facets, but they all speak to very creative endeavors. So first of all, you need to be able to put the inputs in. You're not going to get out what I put into ChatGPT because your prompts are just not on the level of mine, right? So it goes back to the amount of work I put into myself, the amount of inputs I put into myself, which allowed me to output and put into that system to take back, to then change and harness and allow me to take my services to another level. Right?
You are somebody who is quite introspective in terms of how you think about things anyway. That's very anecdotal to you. But when we look at the wider society,
what I was saying, I mean, you always kind of go back and forth on this. So this is always a point of like contention between us. Is everybody has access to the same information. Now, you don't have my anecdotal, nuanced experience, but I am the way I am because I put in the work. So if you're not like me and you're saying, oh well, you're the poster boy and no one could ever be like you, well then concede now.
Yeah,
concede now,
and then come out the system.
Come out the system. When people say, "Oh, this is expensive," and you're like, "You're not paying for the time now. You're paying for the time I put to get to this stage where I can deliver that." Yeah,
I get that, but again, for no, I don't know how you want to call it, but your starting was different. Yeah,
so was everyone else's.
True, but my point is this, right? As much as you're saying, so earlier on we touched on upbringing and the nuances in our upbringing. We grew up in the same place, different upbringing, right? And your upbringing has, to a certain extent, allowed you to be able to consume information in a much different way. I had to teach myself that. I had to learn that. I had to unlearn some things first and learn that. Whereas for you, being a little bit younger than me, at your age, you're thinking the way I'm thinking now, at my age, right? Because you had a little bit of a, I wouldn't even say it's not easier. You had a little bit of a
it's different,
right? Guidance, yeah. So in essence, not everyone starts the same. Everyone might have access to the same information, but not everyone understands how to consume and use that information in the same way.
But what I would say to that is, everybody has advantages in different places, right? So I've used my advantages to my advantage, and you've not used your advantages to your advantage, and then you complain and say that, oh, well, you started ahead of me. Well, no. We've all started in different stations, right? And I can speak more specifically to my missus. My missus come out in a very well-to-do family, right? But I see the struggles and the things she went through, right? So maybe for us, it's economically, but I see the other facets outside of that where she's in a massive deficit and we balance each other out. So understand that we all start in different places, right? And you've got to be able to be, again, industrious enough with the resources around you to make the life you want. So when I hear people say the stuff you're saying, and again, let's make this very clear, Manny is just, he's playing devil's advocate to a certain degree, right? Because this is not the mindset you hold. That is a cop-out. You've conceded, because I could say many things about my life and I could bring a lot of my weaknesses and a lot of the statistical disadvantage I started with and place them on the table. I don't. I lead into my strengths and I make my weaknesses my newfound strengths, and I want to inspire others to do the same.
Good.
I totally agree with you, but at the same time, okay, so let me break it down this way. When it came to picking things up, I don't know what I had sprinkled on my head when I was a kid, but I would pick things up so quick, bro. It's unbelievable. I became a professional footballer because my brother didn't want to pick me in the park to play football, right? So I was like, all right, because I was shit. I was really shit. I never used to like football. But him not wanting me to, him being embarrassed of me, I was like, all right, within 3 months, bro, I was playing, for schoolboys. And then within a year, I was signed to a team, blah, blah, blah. Did it, fine. everything that I've wanted to do in life, sports and all that stuff, I've picked it up so quickly. So quickly, it's unbelievable, to the point that people have told me, why are you lying? Just tell us you've been doing this for a while.
But it's in your DNA.
But because I had that, I didn't value it. Where people would have gone, well, I'd be like, oh, I'm good at capoeira now. I'm going to go do something else. Oh, I'm good at rapping now. I proved my point.
I have a very similar interest.
So I would lose interest, where people would be like, are you mad? Like, why are you stopping doing this? Like, you're so good.
My experience was the same.
So on that side...
But you know what it is? You know what talent is? Talent is a pursued interest. That's all talent is.
Yeah.
Let's make that super, super clear. You had an invested interest, a pursued interest in football. That's what made you great, right? And there was a catalyst that drove you.
Yeah.
And everything you're saying, I can speak to that same thing, right? I don't want to be like, oh, I could have been a pro. I was sick at ball, right? And it wasn't no injury that took me out of ball. It was just like, I don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
Like I was just following.
Because you did it, you achieved it, right? And then you're like, what else is there that's challenging now?
It was just kicking balls with the guys in the pitch, and then you do that enough, and you get really good.
Okay, but this is my point that I'm going to make now. Very few people are like that, bro. So where you say,
what makes us different?
A sprinkle of Zeus on the, on the baby. Like, you see when he throws the bottle down, and it's got a little bit of Olympus juice in it, drinking the bottle. No, but so because you're like that, and because you are the way you are, it's easy for you to say, we all had the same, but I used this and I used that. Because there are people out there that it just doesn't come to
Well, you know what they should do?
At all.
I'll tell you what they should do.
Drink some juice.
Concede now. Concede now. Like, if the precedence of what we're saying is true, concede now.
I think that's one extreme. I think they can either concede now or seek help.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, if we're prefacing
He's going back to the business. He's like, bro, what are you doing, bro? We're trying to do branding.
If we're prefacing the idea that, in essence, we're propagating ourselves above these people, saying we had some special sprinkle, some Roy's was in our milk, or whatever we're saying, right? Then in essence, you cannot compete with us, right? And I don't believe in that. I don't believe that's true. I believe everyone can be great. I feel like it's the consistent...
Yeah, I agree with that. I think everyone's born just as talented as everyone else.
And the perpetual state of your, not only thinking, but your actions that lead to you being in a certain direction, right? So maybe, again, if you take an aeroplane and you veer off course by like a few percent, in like 100,000 miles, that's going to be in a completely different location. And that's what people do from the beginning of life, right? We just had different teaching. We played chess, we did martial arts that veered us in a certain direction. But ultimately, we still had to show up. We still had to deploy our own resource of time, our ingenuity, be industrious, be creative. We still had to do all of those things. So I think oftentimes we don't give ourselves enough credit where credit's due, especially as children, because you still made choices, whether forced or by your own choice, that led to you being a certain way. And I totally believe that. And if you can't get behind that, then what's the alternative? Concede. You're not on my level. That's it.
Do you know what's
I don't
mad?
believe in that.
The mad thing is, like, when I see what I've done in my life, and again, I'm saying this as humbly as possible, but where I've been, what I've achieved, whether it be little wins or whatever, when I look at it and go, wow, I did all that by myself. I think, imagine what my kids could do with me behind them.
Yeah.
Like, I just think, whoa. Like what they can achieve, because I didn't have that person that was going, hold on a minute, bro, don't be dumb, because this is going to lead to this, and this is going to, do you know what I mean? I didn't have that guidance, and I still managed to live a crazy life. So I just think, wow. And I have to be careful with that, because at the same time, I have to let them make their mistakes, do their own things, and do that as well. But
because for me, if I had that, I don't think I'll be the man that I am today. I might be good, but I don't think I'll be greater than I am today.
You had to fortify
yourself.
I had to go through the fire. I had to. And that is why I know that when I make my decision, I'm unstoppable because I know what it's like to go through the fire.
Yeah, it's important. And that's what I'm saying, even like that, because let's talk about the concept of like generational wealth, right? I think it's a stupid idea. And the reason why I think it's a stupid idea, because I feel like, you've got the good times create weak men create hard times, et cetera, right? I feel like you need to put them in position to become great men. So what you do is you give them your IP, you give them abundant thinking, and then you let them build it themselves. Yeah. And I think there's an additional caveat to that is, think about someone who's being propagated by their parents, right? And like Kylie Jenner, for example, right? She's built $1 billion company. People just say, well, you come from the Kardashian family,
she
you
still has
had
to run
peas.
it though.
No, of course. And I agree. I can get behind it. Like she built it, whatever kind of, whatever platform she was given, she used that to her advantage. But ultimately, she's been robbed of some of the merits of what she's achieved.
That's true.
And I want my children to be able to turn around and say, you know what? Dad gave me X, Y, Z. Dad gave me the mindset. Dad gave me the ideas. But I went and built that.
But this is what I'm saying though. But for example, I'm not so good with money. And my mum would always cuss me because I'd do things for a lot of people and I'd give away money and do all that stuff. She'd be like, why are you doing that? I'd be like, that's all you did. That's all I saw you do.
Yeah.
Like you ruined me by being so generous and helping out different people. And now you're cussing me for doing exactly like, I had no other thing. But what you were saying is like, I can teach them, like that's something that I would have wanted someone to be like, this is money. These are ways to make it. This is how you keep it. This is a waste of weight. Do you know what I mean? Like even now, like one of my kids is super into art and stuff. I'm gonna make him make paintings. I'm gonna buy him easels and all that stuff. Then after he makes paintings, I'm gonna take him around the the community and be like, knock on these doors and try and sell these and see how much you can get.
My little niece recently decided that she went to Ethiopia with her parents, and she decided that she wanted to help the people then. So she came back on her own volition, decided to make little bracelets out of like, they're not, back in the day used to make little rubber band bracelets. And she was selling them 10 dirhams each.
That's sick.
See what I'm saying?
She raised over 1,000 dirham.
And that's such a valuable life skill.
Sent it back.
Yeah.
But on her own volition. Why? Her dad and her mum are both incredible with money. Incredible with money. But they don't push her to do anything. But by simple fact.
That proxy, she's learning. That's all you need to do. Demonstrate, right? Demonstrate. You don't need to go behind it.
Live the life you speak of.
Yeah, it's weird when you're just trying, but I'm just making sure that the one thing that my kids do is learn how to fight and do a sport.
Important.
You choose what it is.
Important.
But get them into that mind frame from young. Like my mum was a blue belt in karate when I was 2 years old. She used to give me licks for kicks. But I always remember that.
Yeah.
Like I remember her taking me to karate and I remember her taking me to these things. Like I think that goes back to that whole being fit thing, bro. No word of a lie, bro. I'm not into brands. When you make your body, like I'm gonna show you pictures of me before, bro. I was on the cover of Men's Health and stuff. I was looked like a giant erection. I was like hard and veiny, just hard and veiny all day, like 7% body fat all year round. My clothes, bro. This is like 25 dirham top. Like I shop in Splash, bro. When your body's good, bro, you can put a £2 t-shirt on, bro.
I was having this conversation
a £2
today.
t-shirt on and you look sick.
I was having this
you
conversation today.
Bro, you can buy all the Gucci you want and all that stuff, bro. If you're fat,
that's crazy.
you don't look
crazy.
good, bro. Like I say that stuff to my brother all the time. He's like, oh yeah, look, I'm getting good. I'm like, bro, you got a 13-year-old's arms on a 48-year-old's body. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, bro.
It doesn't make sense.
I was having this same conversation today with one of my colleagues, saying, because he was saying, we were talking about one of our other colleagues who's pretty high up in the company, and I was saying, he don't dress. He don't dress. He was like, yeah, but it's because he wants to go on. But I said, no. Take me to Primark. Bring me back. Yeah. And I'll look better than
anything will look good.
I'll look better than them.
Like right now,
because I know how to put it together.
Imagine this, right now, all three of us have to go somewhere, and we're dressed in string vests, carnival string vests, bro. Carnival string vests, nipples up, bro. And they say, listen, you have to go now.
I'll be ready.
We're going to an event.
I'll be ready.
We could run into H&M now, bro, and come out there looking like one of those Instagram
I'll
videos.
come in the string vest,
bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be ready.
Jamaican one, bro. Did you know the Jamaican one that you wear at carnival, bro?
I'll be ready.
Come on, G.
Telling you.
Father business.
But bro, this is, and I don't think people understand the point of that. And this is a funny thing that you were saying about when we were talking about the relationship we have with our significant others. That I don't mind saying that guy is good. When I was in my best shape, I got more compliments from guys than I did from girls.
No, because we can appreciate.
People would walk past me and go, "Nice body, sir," and like stroke my arm, and I'd be like, "Okay, first that's supposed to be weird," but I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. He's right. It is nice." Like, do you know what I mean?
Because you understand what it took.
That's what I'm saying,
bro. I would when guys would be walking on the beach, I'd be staring at him, and then people would be looking at me, and she'd be like, "Why are you staring at that guy so much, bro?" And I'd be like,
"Garner's immediate respect."
I like his shoulder. His shoulder's better than mine.
Yes,
I like. Do you know what I mean? Like I can tell what he's done. Like, I can tell like, all right, he's done Stairmaster twice a day for the last 3 weeks. For the last 3 weeks, he's done 45 minutes.
No, but listen, you can't be preying man too hard though. That's a bit of a why. You get me?
That's where he went. London, isn't it? I can't say it.
Yeah, you can't be preying man too crazy.
But you see me, competitiveness takes over.
Like I get the oil and I start rubbing it on his chest, and I'm like, bro, you did really
oil, baby oil. Come here, bro.
You missed it. I got your back, bro.
No, but that's. And I don't know if it's healthy or not. But if I see it, and it's the same in business. If I see a man who I'm like, I like what he's done. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. In my head.
But what's wrong with that? That's good.
But
that's amazing.
To a point where I'm like if I see it, I'm like, so in my mind.
Why are you foaming at the mouth, bro?
Bro,
what do you see? What is he wearing?
In my mind,
yeah,
the Bill Gates and the Elon Musks. If that excited me. I could do that.
No, but look, this is another thing. I want to be cool when it comes to money. I want my wife to be like, let's go on holiday and we can go. We're both not working. Yeah. I don't want to be a multi-millionaire with 100 staff under me and all this. That I don't want. So
if
my worst nightmare.
If you heard what there was a preface in there. If I wanted that, I don't want that.
Good.
Yeah. I've got, you know this. We talk about it. I've got no desire to be famous.
Same.
And I've got no desire to be, I want to be comfortable enough to feed my family, help people, yes, and never have to think, okay, I can't put clothes on my kids' back or I can't put food on the table. I'm fine.
100%. That's when someone was telling me about, oh, you know, you're getting big now on your podcast, you're getting famous and stuff. I was like, that's the last thing. There's 2 reasons why I do this podcast. One of them is I want it to be like Rogan. And when I say Rogan, I don't care about followers or views or whatever. I want it to be so if somebody from the community who has 100 followers comes on and then somebody watches it, they're on 5,000. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, their profile is super boosted. Like, I'm not interested in followers, bro. I don't care if I get 1 view an episode. The people I meet through these episodes and the people that I connect with, what my phone book is saying now, like from who I can call, that's 10 times, a million times more important than views. I don't care about views, bro. Even if I got 1 view every episode, bro, I'm making connections that you couldn't dream of, bro. I'm building my circle of pinky rings, bro. You don't even understand, bro. That's one. The second one, so my dad died when I was 2. I don't know what he was like. I've seen 1 or 2 pictures. When I ask my brothers and sisters, they don't really remember, they don't really talk. Bro, if I die tomorrow, I've left 246 hours of footage for my boys to watch and go,
that's beautiful.
That's what he was like. That's the jokes he used to make.
Yeah.
Oh, he scratched his balls from the right side like I do. But you know what I mean? To the point that I make that thing. That's why I do that. Do you know what I mean? I've left them something that...
It's like a rolling diary, isn't it?
That is beautiful. I've never even looked
Do you know what I'm saying?
What we do.
Watch it like this now. Imagine you two sitting there in 20 years looking at you two now.
Yeah, that's
cracking
nuts.
up, bro.
That's
Cracking
crazy.
up.
We'll do that.
Cracking up at the stuff that you were doing and be like, and we always change as well.
Yeah.
Like, forget about mentally. Physically, every 7 years, every cell in your body dies and a new cell.
Correct.
So we're going to change, bro.
Yeah,
so we might be so hardened on one thought now and then watch it in 20 years and go, bro, remember when I used to think like that?
We've evolved in the last
multiple times,
years.
Man's molted like 10 times in the last year.
Like the studio's just full of like snake skin on the floor.
But that's amazing because I feel like a lot of times as men, right, especially, you can want to be consistent with what you said last year and that hinders your growth, and I think that's a dangerous place to be in. I don't need to be consistent with what I said before. That doesn't align with the new base of information I have and my consistent thought process at this moment, and I'm happy to bring that to you and I'll tell you why, and then when it changes tomorrow I'll tell you why again, right? So that's, I think that's very important as men.
That's evolution, like that. Isn't it? That is growth, because if we stay the same, you don't grow and then
stagnant. Trying to be consistent to people that don't give a fuck.
And the world leaves you behind.
Yeah. That's it. Look, one of my favorite sayings, a society grows great when old men plant seeds in which trees they will never sit in the shade of. So you're doing it
for the next
lot. Do you know what I mean?
That's one of the biggest tenets as to why we started
say that one again.
Society grows great when old men plant seeds in which shade they will never sit in.
I like that one, you know. Who said that?
Ricky Gervais when I got it, but it was someone else before him.
Okay, I like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I might have to steal that one.
Might be played.
That's on my post tomorrow.
Yeah. Make a mentality durable of it. Just change a few words.
I'll give you another one. I can only see this far because this one. I've only seen this far because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. So it's like the people before you who's done it. Yeah. Another one I really like, which is not relevant at all, but a camel. Nah, I forgot it. But it was really good. What was the horse drawn by what?
He's on.
A camel is a horse drawn by a committee.
Drawn by a committee?
Yeah. So that just shows that don't put too many chefs in, like, because everyone's like, no, I should have a hump here. No, the neck should be long. No, I should have really skinny legs. Like, do you know what I mean? But they're trying to draw a horse. Someone's like, draw a horse, and then you get 10 people to draw a horse. They all start adding their own bullshit onto it, and then it gets there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about dating. I think that's important. How do you want to approach this one?
However you wish.
I mean, it's midnight now, but we can carry on.
I guess
however you wish.
Let's talk about it in the context of Dubai, right? We're in a very unique place, and they say dating is completely different everywhere else in the world, right? But I see this narrative drawn about Dubai dating and needing this inordinate amount of resources to be able to date successfully. And I'm just gonna debunk that now. That's not true.
I haven't grown up in South London. I was privileged enough to hone certain skills.
I have a certain number of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for men like you.
So what I came here with allowed me to be able to walk into any given bar, any given pub, any given party, any given entertainment venue, any given social environment, and know that I could hold my own. Without looking the part, without worrying about how much money I got in my bank account.
Without having the watch,
without having any of that, I can hold my own. I was bewildered when I came to Dubai and realized that actually I could be so far ahead of other people just based on my conversation. Because where I come, it's competitive. The same girl I'm trying to talk to on the street, 50 paces down, the next brother's trying to talk to her. And then another one. By the time she's made it from here to home, 10 men have tried to, you know what I'm saying? So it's competitive. But here, bro, I just don't get it. And
it's so easy, right?
Bro.
Yeah.
I feel like for people like us, it's so easy all over the world. I don't think that, and again, my people know me, but for your followers, they don't know me. So they're going to be like, who's this dickhead that thinks he can get every girl in the world? It's got nothing to do with money. It's got nothing to do with, bro, I think on two levels. One, the lack of game that people have.
Zero.
Is unbelievable.
Minus.
Is unbelievable. Especially us coming from London, because you learn game in ways that, and you know what's funny? The game you learn in London for girls is the same game you learn to handle people. It's the same game you learn
at work
to make money. Yeah, it's the same game you learn for. So our game is different. People learn like the chicks way in different countries. We learn that this kind of way
it's how you get ahead in life.
Everywhere. Do you know what I mean? When I came here, bro, I was like, what is going on? Like literally there was...
Doesn't make sense.
Like you could literally put me on a broken donkey and I swear I'll get the girl over that guy in the Lamborghini next to me. I swear. Because, you know, I'll bust a joke about how his car smells like a donkey, but mine is a donkey, so you might as well get on a donkey with me and have some fun on the way. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, like, their approach is just wrong here.
You know what it is, though? I feel like it's naturally clad with the cultural nuance of what happens out here, right? You've got women and men that grow up in very diverse kind of spaces, right? With little to no communication with one another, at least, you know, in the local sense, right? And then they're introduced to each other as adults, right? So where do they get to hone those skills? Whereas when you grow up with one another and you get to understand the inner workings of the female mind, the male mind, etc., and then you couple that with being the fabric of a certain type of man.
I feel like that's how it used to be, though. But Dubai has become so expat orientated that I think that nowadays, outside of the locals, nowadays it doesn't happen like that. I think the problem here is that this is the abundant man's playground, right? So people have come and they understand that, okay, well, if you've got a Bugatti or a Lamborghini and you're wearing that Rolex, or you're like, it causes certain people to look at you with certain eyes. I'll tell you a story. A family friend came over. This was maybe 3 years into living here. And Joseph came over and he was staying here in Media City. Now, he decided to rent a Ferrari and his friend Adrian decided to rent a Lamborghini. Yeah, but they were going to keep it for a couple of days. We walked out of the Rotana, Media City Rotana, in Albasha. And there was this girl stood there, bro. She was fire, yeah? So Joe's like, being a typical South London, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go and trap that. Like, yeah, go and do your thing. You know? Just be careful. So he's gone over, he's tried to talk to her. She's not having it. And he's like looking at her, she's not having it. Cool. Enter left stage, some Arab guy comes, whispers in her ear. She's giggling, yeah? Cool. 2 minutes later, the cars pull up at the front. Valet bring them around. And her eyes just lit up. Can you imagine, yeah, when we came back, so we went somewhere, I think we went to get food or something, we came back to the hotel. She was still there in the same location. Came back, she walked over to try and talk to him. And he turned to her and said, nah, but you're jolting, you didn't want to talk to me. Nah, move. Somebody, only now because you've seen the Ferrari, you want to come and talk to me, you think I'm someone now. Yeah. So it's this, I think a lot of the people here, especially women, are looking for what they can get. They're looking for someone to come and hypergamy, looking for someone to come and take care of them, and be the food cart. And I think that a lot of men have cottoned onto that. So a lot of men try to present. Even the ones that can't provide will go and...
I think that when you make your body a Ferrari and your jokes a Lamborghini, your humor, then you can pull up in a Kia sporty, bro, and it makes no difference. Honestly, bro.
Well, look, there are a subsector of women that won't necessarily, again, speaking very generally here, right? Like maybe it doesn't apply to us, right? That are not going to be drawn to such things because they're at such a level of just materialism where they're not even expansive enough to think on those realms, and they will put everything else to the back burner for the sake of money, right? In essence, it's like sugar-coated prostitution, right? It's like, you know, there's no monetary value exchange, but there's a lifestyle exchange. There's an exchange in different kind of veins. But generally speaking, no, 100% what you said. Yeah, 100%.
But do you want those kind of girls? Because for me, 100%, if like that would never have been a thing for me. If I knew a girl likes that kind of stuff, it's an instant off-putting for me. And it's not because I ain't got it. It's just an instant off-putting for me.
Remember what I said before we even came on camera when I was like, my mindset for many years, from latter part of teenage years, was that I'm the commodity, right? So you could want all of that, but if you can't satisfy me mentally, if you can't trigger something, I'm happy to walk away. Like, and I have done so. I've been locked into conversation with beautiful women at bars and been like, yeah, I'm good, thanks, and got up and walked off. So because
you're not hungry, bro, because you know that.
It's not even so much the hunger, it's, all right, cool, I sleep with you, and then what?
Yeah.
To me, pussy is pussy. It's just packaged differently, right? I'm still gonna put it in the same way. I'm still gonna bust a nut the same way. I'm still gonna walk away from it. So, pussy is pussy, right? The actions once and thereof is not gonna change. It's gonna be the same thing. You just look different.
Yeah.
So this concept of I need a trophy, I don't need that. I'm good. Come and satisfy me mentally. Come and make me feel like I want to lend you some of what I've got in my head. Now we're talking, and then I can pick up stuff. Oh, okay, cool. So then if I really need to, you bring value to me now. Because if I don't have something here and I can get from you and we can build together, okay.
Yeah, there's a mutual interest now.
I just find it so weird now. Like the way that girls show their bodies off on Instagram. I find it insane.
Just on Instagram, bro. Or on the roads?
No, but both. But I mean, it's insane, bro. Like to the point that I'm like, you know how much effort I had to go to back in the day to get a girl to show me a picture in a bikini, bro? Like how much game I had to put on, like on text messages. When photos just came out. Yeah. Like good. There was some good work.
Send me something.
Yeah, there was like good work to go in just to get a bikini or something picture, not even underwear, like a picture that she took when she was on the beach. Bro, now, bro, it's porn,
free.
Bro.
It's free.
Like it's insane. I just don't understand it.
But
Don't get me wrong. If you look at all of those mixed race pictures on Instagram, you'll see my like there. but I would never. But at the same time, I would never be like.
At the same time, they do it because they know that they will get the attention thereof, right? They wouldn't do it if no one was paying any attention. So they know they're going to get the attention, and that attention then translates to something else. They get what.
But like, do you not? But your body, though, man, it's different. Like that. That's going to stay there. It's timeless. The internet's timeless. Yeah. When you get older, you will change. Yeah. And this picture that you took like this, wearing a bikini, and literally your whole pom-pom showing on the thing. If I can see the outline of your, it's nuts, bro.
You know what it is? I feel like there's a part of it, because there's societal kind of programming, right? And propagating of certain ways of being, and the algorithm massages certain content, right? But I think there's also an element of women, or at least from the radical feminist lens, wanting to take back their sexuality, take back their sexual essence. And they do it via monetization of that. Because in me monetizing that thing, in essence, I'm supplying, and you're exactly. So in essence, it creates a paradigm of control, right? Where before I didn't have any control.
Yeah, she's choosing to do it.
Yeah, I'm choosing to do it now. Yeah. I'm now in the driver's seat. It's not the case of that guy that pressed me out and dissed me many moons ago.
Bro, I don't know.
Of course, it's weakness.
But
that's what I'm saying, right?
Pro.
No, but
would you ever date a girl that has or had an OnlyFans?
Absolutely not.
Personally,
absolutely not.
I couldn't.
Absolutely
even if
not.
it was for a month.
Why?
For what? No, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying I could never, bro.
No.
And the funniest thing is, I see some Instagram pages as OnlyFans. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if your girl's, unless she's really big in the creative world, if it's not private,
could you date an actress that does sex scenes?
No.
Okay.
But that's just out of, like. Just like I would not show my bare ass on TV, I would not expect you to show your bare ass on TV. Like it's not a thing that. And also, dude, that's my queen, bro. You think I'm gonna have her lying naked in a bed, acting or not acting, around another man?
I always think about those sex scenes in films, though. Cause they're getting
but they're feeling something.
No, but
bro.
But what happens is, even you think about, like, what's the notorious film with the two friends pretending to be start hooking up? Friends with Benefits.
Friends with Benefits.
With Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake.
They were getting together, bro.
They were mashing. Cause there's no way you're laying on top of a gal, kissing her up, doing the magic, and then they say, "Cut." You have to do that again.
Even if you got one of those like those giraffe socks on or whatever, you're still like, it doesn't make sense. I could never.
Take it back to when we were kids, or when we were kind of in adolescence phase. Yeah. We used to grind up on gal and still get our feels.
Bro,
you get me?
Bro, it's mad, bro. It's mad. So like these relationships, I find them weird. Not even like just the way that is, like, don't get me wrong. And it's a weird thing to say, and it makes me sound like a dickhead. I'm a man, so I'll still appreciate a picture. But I would never.
So why'd you look at it?
Be comfortable. Huh?
Why'd you look at it?
Because it's all over my Instagram, bro. Once you keep looking, that's all your searches, bro. No. There's no way you're not going to see it, bro.
It's the AI,
and again,
bro. It's the AI.
Appreciating the look.
I get that.
I'll appreciate the look.
Yeah.
Just like how we said before, bro. I'm not one of these guys who, if a good-looking man walks past my wife, I'd be like, "Why are you looking at him for?" Yeah. I'd be like, "You wish I looked like him." You fucked up, bro. Shouldn't have said yes. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, to the point that I just can't imagine being in a relationship with someone who's posting constant bikini pictures, and because there's got to be something for each other, right?
I feel like I enjoy the fact that my woman is not. She's got Instagram, but she's not really on there. Yeah. Because I feel like there's still something for me to enjoy every time.
That's what I mean.
Like, it's mine, isn't it? Like,
and I take that even a step further, right? Because I reserve my interest for that, right? For my woman, right? For the confines of my relationship. And the reason why I do that is because I guess as men, I would say the reason why society is in such a state is because of tacit approval for men like upon Manelia, right? And even in, like, again, looking is one thing, but like liking is a different thing, right? Because you're helping, you're taking action, right? And that call to action is helping to push those people up and propagate them.
And it also makes you less sensitive, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So what I'm saying to you is, if we don't want to see women acting in that way, if we don't want those female models to be what women are aspiring to be like, then we need to rectify our own actions, right? And if that means lowering your gaze, I'll lower my gaze.
But you know what I think is a big problem? Porn, bro. I think people who watch porn,
it's a huge desensitization, isn't it?
It's weird, bro. I think, especially if you're in a relationship and if you're married, if you watch a lot of porn, then like, how do you expect to be aroused?
You know, I have a question. Because like I spoke about this on, I think one of our very first lives on Mentality, right? Okay. Is porn cheating? Is watching porn cheating? Because I feel like society has made us believe that porn is not cheating. But ultimately, if you're having sex with someone... That's the point that I was making.
But what I'm saying is if every day you're looking at a different woman and you get so used to so many women, and it's not like... You could watch porn and never see the same woman twice, almost.
That is
like
true.
for a year. There's so much there. Then having the same woman at home all the time...
It becomes mundane.
It becomes mundane for you. And having that escape where I could be like, I can just go and watch this and... Get my thoughts off to something else. I find that so dangerous. It's unbelievable.
But I think it all stems back to one thing, right? It all stems back to you as a man actually placing value in the woman that you have at home, right? Because if your woman is just your woman and you're just gonna go and get feels, or you're just gonna go and watch porn, you're just gonna go and whack one out, like then...
But it's ultimately gonna desensitize you to your own woman.
But my point is value. Right? If that's a just and this is a just, then you're placing them on the same platform, right? But if my woman is my woman, and she, as you said, she's my queen, and I look at her and think, yeah, I want to give her all of me, then I couldn't...
You can't fragment that.
Yeah, I can't take that elsewhere.
But remember when we were young? Remember how randy we were when we were young, bro? Because we weren't getting nothing. So it's the same thing with... If you're just going and releasing your stuff to these porns, you're not really in the mood to have sex all the time or regularly because you're releasing all that stuff. Back in the day, we were just like, oh, what am I doing? Like you start going through that puberty thing and it was like you were horny 24/7. Like if you're, like you should be saving that. And like, and when you're watching porn and stuff, you see, your wife will not be as attractive anymore when she's wearing her shorts in the house or like, because you see it every day.
That's true.
And there's people, this is a big addiction. There's guys that watch porn 2-3 times a day.
That is long,
like a
bro.
big, bro, there's people who are addicted to porn.
That is long. But I couldn't think of using my energy in that way, you know.
It's crazy though, bro. Like, because you see, like, think about this, right? Like, imagine you're an average guy, right? And
I ain't no average guy.
No, but imagine, like, try your best to like kind of follow me here. But you have vicarious access to women up here, right? Now the women you have access to are down here, right? The women you're watching and having vicarious experience with are up here. So imagine when you get with your woman who is symmetrical with you down here.
Yeah, she's not.
How much of a dissonance that will create between you and your woman in that relationship, right? And it's those men, right? It's those men that are having those vicarious experiences. So in essence, you're kind of, think about like a trust fund child who has access to all these funds, right? This is your trust fund fucking porn addicts, right? Like, or trust fund, you have these cohorts of women which would never even like place a glance in your direction, but you're watching them, you know, and you're becoming desensitized to those.
They go to
those
prostitutes because they're the ones that are kind of on that level, and that's the only way they can get them. And they go spend money.
Do you know what's mad? Like, when I see some of these porn stars, you know, sometimes you watch TV and you see them flash. I don't even find them attractive.
What channels are you on, bro? Porn on the TV?
Not like
your lies stink, bro.
But my point is this, right?
For the sake of this lie, we'll say it's TV.
Okay, believe what you want to believe. But anyway, I don't find them attractive. I find it difficult to look at them and not that they're not beautiful. I don't find them attractive. There's always something, and I'm somebody who like prides myself in looking at people and thinking, okay, well, something in them is beautiful. Something. There might not be, but something is beautiful in them. I struggle.
But this is another thing. There you got these kids who are growing up not knowing what a woman wants because they're watching porn and seeing the way these guys are doing. Women don't want to do that shit, bro. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that they think is normal.
But on the flip side, AJ, and I think this is an important point to make, is as parents, we also have to talk to our kids about sex and be transparent with it. We don't get taught how to. And so what happens is little boys and girls go and seek that elsewhere. I vividly remember my aunties and stuff cracking jokes about sex. And over time, it made it okay. So if I had a problem, I knew which aunties to go to.
Yeah.
But as I grew up, I realized that it was because my mum was saying, he won't come to me. You know what I'm saying? I could talk to my mum about now.
Yeah, it's different.
Listen, I talk to my mum about everything. My mum knows girls that are brack up.
Yeah.
You get me? Bro, there were times when I used to have a phone in my room. Yeah,
He had the red bat phone, the commissioner phone, bro.
See if you remember. There was a time, when back in the UK they used to do from 7 to 7. You used to get the free calls.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I had a phone in my room. So my mum would take my phone.
That was the 0171 days.
There you go. So my mum would take the phone, because she wanted to do the free calls with her regents at the minute. So then Gal would call up and my mum, she knows I'm upstairs. Yeah. Doing my she
pick up the phone on the other side.
Yeah, he's not here. He's taking messages and that. PA.
I remember the 5 day pass.
5 day pass.
Yeah, come
7
on.
day pass. 5 day pass.
I was rinsing that.
But your time was the mobile phone, so you remember that.
Yeah, I was rinsing that with my first girlfriend.
I remember the first mobile phone I had, bro. It was a box with a strap on it, bro.
Yeah,
and it had the phone there.
No way.
On top of the box. It was the first ever one that came out. Then we had the Nokia and the Motorola StarTAC.
I come up on the Nokia 3210.
Change your face. Change your face and change the aerial.
Yeah, but that was top technology back then, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
that was my first phone.
Before the 3210 was the do you remember the Ericsson?
Yeah, of course, the Ericsson. The Sony Ericsson. So they had the flip one, but then they also had the banana one.
No, before that, the first one.
With the big aerial.
Yeah, but you could change your face, but you couldn't even change your whole face. It was just a number pad.
Yeah. The keypads.
Mad thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Galen.
Yeah, back to...
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, I just think porn's a mad one, bro. Stay away from that shit if you want to have a successful marriage or a successful relationship.
It's not healthy at all.
What else is there that we haven't chatted about now? I can see Zia's falling asleep, bro. How long are we doing, Zia? 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
We'll wrap up for this episode. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
What else do you feel like we've missed out on?
Boy, I think we covered a lot of bases.
I'd like to cover fatherhood and the importance of good, positive, and we've touched on it a little bit throughout when we spoke about you growing up with the two dads, but I'd like to touch on the importance of having good, positive role models in society. They may not necessarily be biological fathers, but I believe that there are people like us that should be feeding into the next generation, even though they might not necessarily be our kids, but feeding into the next generation and the importance of that.
Yeah.
I think it's important, man. Having a 2-parent household is really important. And I watched something on Instagram. So it's this guy, I don't know if you know him, he's an English guy, bald, mixed race with a beard. And he pushes
Raising Boys.
Yes.
Raising Boys. He's from my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
he's got
the
follow
two
him
kids.
on IG, innit?
Yeah, he's very good, bro. And I remember him saying,
I like his
he
stuff
did
as
this
well.
thing with his sons. He was like, okay, so if this situation happens, who would you want with you, mommy or daddy?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Do you know what I mean?
I saw that one.
And it just shows the different situations that a different parent is needed for that kind of stuff. Even today, so one of my kids, he had to get some root canals done. So they're 6 years old, their kids, he's not going to let doctor do it, so I had to put him under anesthetic. So we took him to the hospital in the morning. He's around me, we're busting joke, he's getting his confidence and all that stuff. But only one parent's allowed to go in when they give him the gas and then put the injection. Yeah. So I was like, who would you like to go in with you?
Mom.
And he was like, I was like, don't worry, it's fine, whoever you want to go. And he's like, Mummy. So when he needed to be brave, it was me.
Yeah.
When he knew it was time to go to sleep,
it was Mum.
He wanted Mummy because he wanted the comfort of her. So every role is so important.
It's funny you use that analogy because I see that now with my son. So with Tiago, as young as he's 18 months, but he knows how to pick. Like he'll come to me, start busting up laughing, I want to play. And then in a split of a second, he'll go and hug his mum. Like he picks situations that he wants to be with dad and situations where he wants to be with mum. And so you narrate that, it makes so much sense. And they know from that age without any...
It's so important, dude. And that's why when I
imagine the absence of one and how detrimental that is to their mental framework.
And another weird thing is this whole parents kind of splitting and then the mum holding that kid as a weapon against the father because they might not like his new relationship, or they might not like. I find that heartbreaking.
Yeah. And I always encourage, because my mum most certainly did do that with my dad, my biological dad, that is, especially in times where he was absent for, again, he was homeless, right? But I think in the case that does happen to you, I think when you get old enough, you should go out and seek.
Absolutely.
Because you might find that their turn of events were completely different to your mum's version of events, and then you can kind of discern and kind of make sense of that situation.
It will always be different, I believe. I don't think that the narrative will ever remain the same in such a situation.
Yeah.
Because on one side, you're coming from a lens of innocence and wanting to be present, and on the other side, there is this bitterness, so to speak, which is when the weaponization of the children comes in, right? It's saying, or just disrupting the access of the trend and thinking you're doing it to the guy, but really it's the child that you're hurting.
And I think even with that, right, I think we've all got to form relationships with our parents as humans, not as our parents. I think that is so important, because you realize that firstly, you got to forgive them for any trauma that you carry. Life is inherently traumatic, and there's no kind of vein of life where you're not going to experience some trauma, and you need to forgive them for the trauma that you experience vicariously through their own traumas, because trauma is passed on generationally, right? So you've got to understand that, forgive them, and then when you understand who they are, you understand what generational trauma
they dealt with.
They dealt
why
with
they
and
made the
passed on to
decisions
you.
they made.
Yeah, and then it allows you to heal. Kind of that trauma lives and dies here with my generation, and then my kids can go on.
We pray that our kids do the same with us.
And don't get it twisted, they're going to experience trauma via our experiences to some degree, right? And they're going to be looking at us, blaming us as well. But explaining that dynamic to them from very early, like, look, daddy or mummy, I'm going to get some things wrong. There are going to be some things that you're probably going to be resentful about when you're older, but understand that I had your best interests at heart. And I think once you create a space like that, you're going to have children that will perpetuate healthy.
I think
families.
even us who, I mean, we speak about being beaten and whatnot, but I think that the forgiveness aspect has happened because we wouldn't be able to sit here. We wouldn't be able to sit here and talk about it in the way we talk about it if we hadn't already understood that, you know what, it didn't come from a place of I'm going to hurt this child. It came from a place of I want to set him up so that he doesn't get hurt outside of confines at home.
100%. Yeah.
Guys, it's been absolutely emotional. We need to do another episode because I feel like there's so much more that you guys could bring to the table and we cover. This house is your house. You're more than welcome anytime.
Appreciate it.
No, it's been good, man.
Yeah,
the only reason I swear I would have done another 2 hours, but we
appreciate you for the platform.
He's got a long drive after.
Well, I appreciate you for the platform, but also for the ability to be unapologetic in conversation. I think that is for me personally, and I know you'll speak for yourself, but for me personally, that's the thing, right? Is sometimes when you go on other people's platforms, you have to paint the picture of the brand and the brand. But I am the brand. And the brand is because of what we've been through and the conversations we have, right? And so to be able to sit down and be unapologetic about telling our stories and having reference to our anecdotes and the things that we've been through that has made us who we are, to then connect, to then bring the brand into fruition, is a beautiful thing. So I thank you for that.
No, bro, hats off to you guys. It's been a long time coming, and we will do it again for sure. I feel like we might make this a little regular thing.
That'll be beautiful.
We'll get it done, man. I've been AJ. Tell me who you been.
Oh, I've been Manny.
Kori.
Why are you telling him? He knows who you are. Tell them, bro. That's your camera there.
What's a fly in the wall
So
situation?
check out Mentality, and we'll get another one done for sure. Because I feel like there's a lot of conversations we still need to have.
Most certainly.
Let's keep the conversations going.
Let's keep them going.
As we already said, things evolve, right? Things change.
For sure.
Let's keep that conversation going.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Boom.